Hey folks, welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and here we have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Oh man, sad week in the world and world of pro wrestling and everything like that. But besides that, which we'll get into in a minute, I guess I'm all right. Just been grinding it out, doing a lot of work.
It feels. Is it every day now? Is
Almost.
RLPW every day now?
Almost.
It feels like yeah.
There's
I don't mean in no bad way.
There's a little schedule coming together for it. Like Tuesdays, gonna do like the tier ranks. Mondays we got our Bret Hart scale where I'll put 3 people down. Thursdays we got the hot takes video, which seems to be the real takeoff kind of the thing so far. And then I'm filling in between that whenever I get big news and different stuff like that. But it's going pretty well. I got some stat that. I'm in the top 5% of creators under 1,000 subs, like as far as traffic. So like that keeps going. We will do something pretty good. Launch a merch store as well. TeePublic. I dropped the link in the chat and all that. So if y'all want to check it out, so we got everything on that joint. So, but it's been working out every day and stuff like that. So what's up with you, man?
I mean, not much at all, really. We'll talk about it once we get off air. But like, I think maybe I didn't tell you, but like, I've been having back issues for a while, and since July, really. Like basically right before we left, or I left for All in Texas, and then it's like, damn, like why is my everything I'm doing when it comes to fitness, like why does everything suck? Why are my hamstrings locked up? Why is everything I'm doing bad? And it's like, oh, go see a PT. You can't fix yourself, James. Like. You're trying to fix yourself. It hasn't worked. The person that normally works on you to fix your shoulder, fix all this other stuff, couldn't fix it. What's wrong? I went to a physical therapist 2-3 weeks ago. 2 herniated discs in my lumbar, L4,
Jesus.
L5. I actually got lucky because like if the herniations had been like in a different spot, I'd been in a lot worse pain. So. Mm-hmm. It was a situation where it's like, oh, this sucks. Why can't I do this? Why my hamstring locked up as opposed to other people that are a lot less fortunate than me, where it's like, oh, they hate even like walking or getting out of bed or dread sneezing. Like sneezing puts them to a spasm. Like me, I just sneezing sucks or coughing sucks, but like it doesn't like make me shut down and want to like curl up in a ball. Other people is way worse. So I'm fortunate in that instance, but. Just been doing rehab. That's really the main thing for me, right? Of like last few weeks.
Damn.
So I mean,
people, better, man.
I already feel better compared to when I first got there like 3 weeks ago. So I'm already know that like it's working. I just got to be patient because like the amount of pain I was like thinking maybe this is some shit where it's like 6 months, a year. They told me 2-3 months. I'm looking at it as a positive because like I thought it was going to be even longer, so yeah. I just got to make sure I don't put on too much weight before I get back to it. I'm doing a bad job of that because this is what I had for dinner.
I'm about to say, I was like, is this man about to pull a Popeye's bag out? I was going to say, please don't do this.
No. Popeye's bag, that's crazy, but yeah. That's kind of where I'm at right now, just got to be patient, that's all, and do my rehab stuff. So
yeah, King of North said he's 6'7". I don't know if he's trolling by saying that height or whatever, but he says he has some back issues too. Really tough. Hope he gets better, James.
I think I've heard him say he was 6'7" before. Yeah, so that checks. Or at least he's a consistent liar, whichever one you want to call it. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Myra said past football workout injury? ?
Could have been. Like, really the main thing for me is like I was never deadlifted before, and then the first time I never deadlifted for like max reps, and I was wondering like what I could do with it. So last year, the end of 2024, I maxed it. I ended up getting 515, and then from there, like I just did all the regular stuff I do with everything else I do when it comes to powerlifting, and like all my numbers went up except for that. Which should have been my red alarm. Like, hey, dummy, probably something's wrong if you went through a whole 3 months of training, everything went up except for this. Maybe you're fucking up your back and end up getting to July. And then I had an issue with the back squat, and then it was like, all right, that's kind of fast forward to what everything I just told you. So, yeah, that I mean, it could have been that, but like it just got exacerbated or or exposed it by doing deadlift. I'll tell you this, like, um, I won't be doing deadlifting anymore once I rehab this back fully. I'm done with that. I will not be lifting up anything over 400 pounds, 405 pounds ever again, off the ground, straight up.
Yeah, it's a lot. RJ Stagg says James is selling the back like Matt, so that make rich Nick Jackson.
I mean that kind of fits. That kind of fits our aesthetic. I think I've said before, like I'm 5 Dog and you're Q-Tip, so yeah, you're Nick Jackson, I'm Matt. Why not? Yeah, why not? That fits the same thing. Like one person's the star, the other person's setup man. That's how that goes. Why not?
Rich Freak, Rich Latta is crazy. Rich, what the dog doing, Latta? That's great. As I'm wearing the ROPW. Myron, I wonder how much them Takahashi Daryl dolls are gonna go for on WWE Shop. That's great.
They're not selling not one of them. They didn't remember. Did they? They haven't even continued to sell the EO mask.
Yeah.
They're not going to sell no
They
damn
could have had
Daryl
a bunch
plushies.
of money with that.
They don't even sell Ray masks anymore. I don't think. Maybe they do, but last time when I look at Ray, every blue moon, like I'll go on, I'll be like, hey, Rey Mysterio, The Rock, AJ Styles. I'll look at their merch every 2 or 3 times a year to see if they got anything new. When I look at Ray stuff, I don't see any mask up there. Not that I would buy one, or not that one would fit my big ass head at this point, but just to say I got one.
Someone said James sitting on a wood chair. Someone please give him a chair sponsorship.
Trust me, that's not the problem. My problem, my problem is that my discs were like this, and it went forward, and it extended too far with weight, and I had what do you call it, shear force, and I end up the jelly around my disc bulged out backwards, and it's pressing against the disc. That's not from sitting on a hard chair. I know some people are sensitive in that way, where like a chair makes it a problem for them. I never had a problem sitting.
Yeah, I've had to invest in a real chair a few years ago for Christmas. My wife ended up getting me this chair, and this chair.
Like I'm sitting on a fake chair. Are you calling me broke, Rich?
No. What I'm saying is, I was sitting in that gaming chair before, and that shit was awful for me.
You're not in that right now?
It's that black one or whatever. It's like that leather chair or whatever. You gotta get that joint from like Ashley Furniture or whatever, something like that. This thing is like, I've had it for maybe like 3 years now, and it's like just perfect. Like, especially like being I work from home too, so it's like you gotta be comfortable. So, yeah, man. So I guess we should get into it. I want to start by talking about Ted Turner and the death of Ted Turner. And they did a huge tribute to it on AEW Dynamite. Looks like we got a super chat from my man Black Saber Jr. Won't be able to watch live, so have a great show. P.S. Detroit basketball.
Detroit, and the crowd yells back, basketball. And
they do that, that Ben Wallace when he would block a shot.
Man, I watched parts of that game earlier, and James Harden did it again.
I know James Harden just doing
more
him.
It's funny. Like, Rich, is there anybody that's a bigger James Harden guy than me?
I don't even know anybody that likes James Harden but you.
Right. So I'm just like, hey man, he
doing him, dog.
What I mean by doing him is that, hey, you have a game where you have more turnovers than baskets made in the game. I think the number's 30 now.
Incredible.
30 career games in the playoffs where this guy has had more turnovers than made baskets. And this is one of the...
That Dwayne Wade debate always goes silent this time of year.
It works like that every single year. Because the thing is, no one, obviously, we're in this era where these guys play so much longer, to where now it's like, James Harden is like the Karl Malone or like the most durable guard post Kobe, easily, right? And now, I mean, at this point, he might surpass Kobe he might as far as like durability, because like James Harden's a tank, and he play all his games. He might be out of shape, all that, whatever else. He plays games. He plays games, and Yeah, man, like he's at this point now where like it always works. He leaves another team, shows himself to be super valuable. When you need him the most, he proves that he's not worth whatever. He fails you, and then you want to move on, and then the next team gets him for a steal. The thing is, every team he ever leaves, he leaves them worse than where they were, and it makes you be like, well, you should have let him leave. And it's like, well, should he have? Like, it always works out. He always demonstrates his value. Always, it's amazing.
That's incredible.
All these teams, all these
and he always gets his money.
He always gets his money. He always demonstrates his value. The team that trades him always gets worse off. It's amazing. It's amazing. And then the playoffs happen, and then he'll be good. He'll be good for one or two series. But when it's a series when it's eliminated, it's like, oh, y'all might get eliminated. He'll play good for like the first 3 games, and then in the games 4 through after that, he goes off the rails. It's literally teams get to see all that shit, and they see tons of reps of it, and they learn how to not get their hands caught in the cookie jar, and he can't lawyer his way out of foul calls. It works out every single time.
Yeah.
And one time I'm just like, can you just give me one time where you prove yourself? He fails me every single time. Every single time.
This is the annual. You know, like I used to wait for when Chris Paul would melt down in the playoffs and have a blast with that and send out the Reggie Miller choke gif and, you know, just all those. But this nigga Harden is like, this nigga's taking the cake. This is like,
Harden was Chris Paul was never as bad as Harden. And Chris Paul has as many, actually he has more times where he proved himself in the playoffs than failed when you compare the teams and the talent and the teams he was playing against. James Harden, it sucks that he had to play in the Warriors Western Conference Finals with Durant. It whatever else, but he also has these ones where he ends up getting his ass bounced. Say again?
Like other teams were whooping his ass too.
That's what I'm getting at. There's also other ones where it wasn't just the Warriors that stopped him. The Warriors that stopped him.
I will never forget Manu Ginobili being like, you know what?
Yeah. Was that 2016?
2017, I think.
Okay.
The Spurs went to the conference finals.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
King of the North, Toronto Raptors legend, Chris Paul, by the way.
Yeah.
Nasty. All right, man. Let's wrap back around for Ted Turner. So,
all right.
So Ted Turner passed away yesterday, I believe, at the age of 87. And Ted Turner, you know, they did a huge tribute for him on AEW Dynamite. Very emotional. I was watching it, getting emotional, and I was just like, it was in Charleston, South Carolina. This is WCW country. This is like seeing, you know, the death of Ted Turner reverberate made me start thinking about the way pro wrestling came into my life. And then I immediately was just like sad and like thankful all at the same time, because like I started watching wrestling through WCW, and I'm from the Northeast, so you would think that's a World Wrestling Federation territory. I didn't see that first. What I saw first was WCW versus New Japan Pro Wrestling at Starrcade 95. So I didn't have these preconceived notions of what I thought pro wrestling should look like, or who it should be from, or what size of the wrestlers should be there. Was Ted Turner directly influenced the day-to-day of that? No. But what he was doing was keeping that on air and like funding it and making sure, you know, that whole thing stood up and was its own ecosystem. I learned about pro wrestling in an entirely different way, and it comes into my life a whole different way if not for Ted Turner.
Yeah, same for me. As far as what I was raised on, right? Like, I give wrestlers more of a chance than other people did that are my age or maybe even younger, because I was in an era where there was a WCW that was on cable television at the same time as there was a WWF to WWE, and Sting's my third favorite wrestler of all time for that reason. It's strange, man. Like, he kept the torch for American pro wrestling alive in a way, or major American pro wrestling alive in a way that, like, I don't think people have thought about until his passing, you know? There were so many wrestlers that would not have ever made money, done X, Y, or Z, had been an influence on the future generations if not for there being a place for him to do it, right? Like, and some of even WWE benefited from it, right? Like the same way that there's Cody Rhodes right now in WWE, and there's a CM Punk in WWE. It benefits from the part where like these people went somewhere else when WWE did not want them, and they made a name for themselves, and WWE then wanted to bring them back, and then they made them WrestleMania main eventers, right? And there's no other proving ground. There's no other place for it to develop talent, and for those that don't really recognize this, for main event talent, really, WW or AEW is going to be where WWE gets its main event talent. Like there will be Obafemis, there will be Braun Breakers. We don't know if they'll make it. They got the tools, they got the look. Trick Williams, another example of this, but we don't know in our heart of hearts if they're actually going to make it because we've been through this road dozens of times before over dozens of years when it comes to WWE. People would promise don't make it. That's not how it is. But there are more proving grounds to be able to get yourself reps for when your time comes, and there being an AEW. And much like Cody, they never saw it with Cody. Leaves barnstorms around the world. ROH champion, NWA World's champion. Goes to AEW, top babyface. Leaves, top babyface in WWE years later. Right? There is a path. There is a path for all of this. And there's no pipeline, or there is no tradition. There is no probably even a hint of nostalgia of having AEW around, if not for the nostalgia of WCW being on the airwaves of Turner or TNT.
You take all that back to launching the Atlanta Braves and being the owner of the Braves. He was the owner of the Hawks at a certain point, planting his flag in the city of Atlanta as everybody else fucking flees from Atlanta in droves.
And for those that don't know, right? For those that don't know, the Atlanta Braves are the baseball team of the South. There are. You will see, no bullshit. You will see people talk about the South. They all like to talk about college football, right? SEC rivalries all day. Auburn, Alabama, South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, all that, right? All of them hate each other's guts. Come spring training, a lot of them, a good number of them are all Braves fans because of Turner.
Yeah.
I'm a Yankees fan. Guaranteed, I have watched in my grandmother's house throughout the days. I have watched as much Atlanta Braves as probably New York Yankees games. And there have been times where I would watch literally 100 Yankee games in a season or more. I was that kind of diehard Yankees fan. But just the accumulation, I may have watched more Braves games over my years, my formative years growing up as a young kid and all the way to, all that because of Turner. So I'm CNN, obviously it goes without saying, but like there are a lot of things that like Ted Turner has indirectly influenced a lot of the things in my life that I have consumed as far as sports and sports entertainment, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So yeah, he's a titan of this industry. Of the entertainment industry.
And it's like wrestling was just like a small part of what he did. Vince McMahon was obsessed with this guy. Ted Turner didn't give a fuck about this guy. He wrote his entire autobiography and didn't mention him once, which I know Vince McMahon probably hated, and I hate the fact that Ted Turner dies and Vince McMahon gets to find out Ted Turner dies. I just hate it because I know he had some type of messed up thought or something like that, and I'll last at this motherfucker. I already know how Vince gets down. And I thank Ted Turner for being in the wrestling business, because that's why I like to watch wrestling. He
wasn't ashamed of what this was. Vince was. Vince has made a lot of money off of pro wrestling. No one's ever made more money off pro wrestling than Vince McMahon. But he wasn't good at anything else. And Ted Turner was.
Yep.
like I don't know if you saw this a lot, but one of the things that I saw get floated around was like, and I've heard that story before, but I forgot it. But it's like people mention like this is also we're talking about Jane Fonda's favorite ex husband. I was like, yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. I got a list of the things that Ted Turner is responsible for, and prepare. So, founded CNN in 1980, the first 24-hour cable news network, changing television news forever with around-the-clock live coverage, launched a modern cable TV era alongside networks with TBS and TNT, creating the superstation model with WTBS, making Atlanta TV national. He does he turns the Braves into America's team through the national broadcast. He purchases and stabilizes and saves basketball in Atlanta with the Atlanta Hawks. He owned the Atlanta Threshers during the launch. He brought Major League Sports visibility to Atlanta, created TNT, and expanded sports and entertainment cable programming. Helped pioneer blockbuster cable TV rights deals, airing NBA games nationally on cable in a transformative era for basketball. This is through the Jordan era and Magic and Bird, like that's on TNT. Got the MGM library that fueled more cable movie programming. He built Cartoon Network through his acquisitions. Yep. He preserved the Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Yep.
Created Turner Classic Movies. CNN headline news. Talked about he had breaking news coverage during all the global crises, like mass innovative coverage during the Gulf War. He basically normalized cable news as a central part of our lives. He funded environmental causes and basically saved bison in this country. I actually ate at Ted Turner's restaurant in Denver, Colorado before.
I thought you were about to say I actually had bison before. I was like, okay, Tony Ayo. All right, go ahead.
He donated $1 billion to the United Nations Foundation. He created the Goodwill Games as an alternative competition during Cold War tensions. He's one of the loudest media moguls that will challenge broadcast networks. He expanded his media globalization before streaming existed. He took a bunch of financial risks on cable when many thought it would fail, and he basically turned Turner Broadcasting into a media empire that eventually merged with Time Warner. And then in wrestling, like all that is before wrestling.
Yep.
He bought Jim Crockett Promotions. He aired Georgia Championship Wrestling for years on the Superstation. He kept WCW alive through the 80s and 90s. He funded it and made it a real competitor for Vince McMahon. He told Eric Bischoff he's going to give him the live programming to go against Raw. With that checkbook, he got the NWO started. Hogan, Nash, Hall, every wrestler of the 1990s in America except The Rock and Kurt Angle and Owen Hart. Yeah, actually, Owen Hart was in WCW. The Rock and Kurt Angle all went through WCW at some point.
Yeah, pretty much anybody worth a damn, yeah.
Goldberg, Sting, Flair, like this is like an entire
Mysterio, Guerrero, Benoit, DDP,
Harlem Heat,
yep.
Everyone. And like I just had it all come rush back, and I don't know if it's because when I see Tony Schiavone, that's like our link to like the last time, and then they send him out there and he talks glowingly about like these people that we feel like we know or we're connected to somehow, and he's like wearing it for all of us kind of. And then they bring Sting out, and I thought they flew Sting up there just for that. He happened to be in town anyway, but when I saw Sting, I assumed that they sent the jet because he wanted to put it up one time for Ted. So incredible class shown by AEW, and I think the way they did it, they set it up basically like they showed that Ted Turner was this one billionaire that was basically brave enough to go against the Fed, essentially, and then they tied it into, Tony being that guy now. And like Tony's kind of got to carry the Ted Turner legacy. He has the Turner Mansion inscribed on the side of his belts.
Yep.
Like
that's my point. He's been doing it. That's what I'm getting at. Like he's been doing that for years. He's been doing that since day one of AEW.
Yeah.
Or at least since the TV deal got announced that they were going to do Dynamite. Ever since they announced Dynamite, it was like, okay, like this is the spiritual successor of
Nitro. Yeah. Just look at the names. So, like, you know, all that stuff about Ted Turner is just like, you just think about it, and then like you find out he's on the right side of a lot of these issues, and I'm just like, they don't make those kind of old billionaires anymore. It's just like everyone's an evil villain, kind of like wreaking havoc on the world. Like Ted Turner actually gave to the world in a lot of different aspects. It's like, I'm sure he wasn't perfect. I'm sure there's like no stuff about him or whatever, but I look, either the good far outweighs the bad, or like that stuff is just not as publicized.
There's just there is a baseline like cynical thing about like billionaires or multi-millionaires and their charity and philanthropy. It's like people are doing the bare minimum so people stay off their ass for how they accumulated their wealth, right? And like Ted Turner did more than that, and he did it at a time when like before people started really looking into people's shit in that kind of way. So yeah, I mean, somebody had to be on the L's for him to get that many W's. But relatively speaking, compared to his contemporaries, what are we talking about?
Yeah. RJ Sag said Ted's contribution to pro wrestling should 100% be covered by a Tony Khan produced documentary in the future. Start the myth making. Stop letting WWE bury this guy with every Attitude Era doc. Shoulders 1676, no good billionaires, but the fact Ted Turner spent all that money to actually contribute to the things he liked and ensuring art stayed alive does mean people love him when he's gone versus celebrating. As much as we joke about Captain Planet, that was Ted wanting to get kids to know about combating pollution.
Yeah. Like, hey, let's. It's also one of those things. Like, maybe it's because of the nostalgia, or maybe because of my age, and I thought about it. But like, I like Captain Planet a lot. Like, and I never thought about it in the sense of like, oh, that is a cartoon made for that purpose, that cynically, or not cynically, or that overtly. But like I enjoyed it, and they made me think anything outside of like at that time like it was right in line with Batman or Spider-Man or whatever for me at the time. Obviously, once you get older, you're like, oh, all these people belong to these particular companies in that sort of way. But I hadn't really thought about it in that way, and they're all IP. I never thought of it that way until I got older. Like, okay, fine, but like I still like Captain Planet.
I was always a Ted Turner Observer Hall of Fame supporter, and I'm sure he will. I think people will probably look into him again this coming Hall of Fame season. I
think that segment with Shivani and Sting, I think it's going to add a lot of votes. I think it's going to make. I don't think it's going to be an insignificant change after he died. Obviously, you're going to get the death bump, and then also like that video package, like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Like a lot of things happen when people just don't account for that stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, that's right. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Can't ignore that 10-bell salute for Ted Turner and the 10-bell salute for Vince will be so different.
Will there be a 10-bell salute for Vince? Like, they don't do 10-bell. When's the last time you remember a 10-bell salute in WWE?
They did one for Hogan, right?
Did they?
I think so.
I don't know. It's not like I was watching.
They brought everybody out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, no, bringing everybody out is one thing, like, but when they bring people out, they do the 10-bell salute, but like they don't bring everybody out all the time. You know what I mean?
So was that a funnier eulogy I saw was a mutual going, look, Ted Turner was an enemy of Vince McMahon. That has to count for something. They did one for Bray Wyatt. So I mean, I guess we'll send Ted off, with a his ethos right here, an original, right there. So,
Rich, for those that saw that, no, Rich made that. I had no idea he even did that. For those that click on this that don't know our shit, and I don't like watching WWE because I don't think they make good wrestling that often. And then Rich actually had the actual grudge with them. That's this nigga's fault. Oh, sorry, this one.
So, we should talk about the departure of the New Day in the apparent story that there are wrestlers, several of them, being asked to take.
Can we talk about New Day first before we get to shitting on people?
Sure.
I know you want to put it together, but like you can do part one, part A, part B. But yeah, man, the New Day, they announced over the weekend that they have mutually parted. Or I don't know who announced, but like it was announced that the New Day and WWE have mutually parted ways. And that set off a chain reaction of, I don't know if it's backlash because the press releasing is mutually parted ways. But a lot of people are upset, and rightfully so. This is one of the most memorable acts of the last decade or 15 years of WWE. I think they're the most decorated tag team in WWE history. Okay.
16-time champs.
I didn't figure they'd be going back and forth with the Usos for who has 17, 18, 19, 20. So I want to know for sure. But yeah, they are one of the most unique acts in the history of professional wrestling. And at basically at every single step, they succeeded despite being basically set up to fail at every turn. I don't think I've ever seen a Vince McMahon a act that was around Vince McMahon where Vince McMahon was so out of touch and seemingly wanted to fuck them over, and they happened to, because of their charm, their wit, their whimsy, and the power of positivity, they were able to overcome such obstacles. Like, it was amazing. Like, when they came out after their first, when they all decided they're sick and tired, enough is enough, it's time for a change, they went away and they came back with the New Day thing, and there was all this, the gospel music. We thought this was dead on arrival. We thought this shit sucked. It was awful. And we were right because they immediately changed it. Because they immediately started altering things. And when they immediately start altering things, they start adding a personality of this black nerd nerdum that, like, they're almost like the Kanye of pro wrestling in a way where it's like, we have seen gangster rap to death. We have seen
the Nation of Domination. That was the whole thing. They're the next Nation of Domination, and that's what everybody wanted them to be. And they were like, "Nah, we something else."
Right. So what I was saying, lost my point, but there was so much of we have militant, we have gangster thugs, we have militant types, right? Nation Domination is the militant version, right? Gangsters and thugs, that's Harlem Heat.
Crime Time.
Right, crime. Yeah, that's New Jack. That's all that we had that in wrestling. And
we had the athletes. We had The Rock basically being Deion Sanders, and it's like the superstar athlete, Bobby Lashley, the Black Muscle Man.
Yeah, the nondescript athlete that has all the tools. That's another thing, right? But what we hadn't had was like, hey, what most black people are in this country, which is like, not just kind of just middle class and charming, and
and largely fighting uphill in whatever their chosen profession is.
Yeah. So that fits in. That, I mean, I don't think that was I think that was the meta story more than the actual than the kayfabe story, but it still worked. It still worked along the way, and also fit into the Kofi Mania stuff, right? So, it ended up working out like gangbusters, and they were funny, and Xavier was able to show a side of himself that he had not been able to show because he was doing the weird shit he did when he debuted with R-Truth. That was I thought he was there. The New Day was not the first time I thought Xavier was dead on arrival. Okay, I was just glad. I'll put it like that. But it ended up working. Ended up great. Francesca, the fucking trombone. It makes no sense. But it's pro wrestling and it's goofy and it's wacky. And these are goofy, wacky, large-in-life characters that are charming. And honestly, they made it all work. And they were a great team, all three of them together.
And they should get the credit for coming up with that stuff themselves, because people weren't writing for them after a while. They couldn't.
It was obvious. It was obvious because it's like these punchlines. This is not this. This is too online. This is too fast and reactive based off of what happened. Like, they were saying things on SmackDowns or Raws that happened like 2 days before it popped off. Like they were talking about trending current things in their store in whatever promos they were doing. And it was popping the crowd all the time. And I'm sure backstage were like, what's going on? What's happening? Why is the crowd reacting to this stuff? Because these are the writing team. Like this we're talking about Black Twitter. Like if not for Black Twitter and not for it being the New Day, that would have never have worked.
Ever.
They were an extension of the zeitgeist in a way that, like, this man and them, they love to claim they want to be, but they can't and they never have been because
they're always late.
They're always behind. They're always out of touch. They're always, right wing. I don't know how to say it any more without any more clarity, without sugarcoating it. Like, they want to be tapped in the same way that UFC's tapped in. And that was before TKO, the merger. That was before that.
Yeah. And then, like, on top of that, like, these guys are really good wrestlers, like, in their own right. Like, for me, they're the best WWE tag team there ever was. And, they had a lot of great battles with the Usos. Like, 2017 is probably the peak of their rivalry.
Yeah.
It carries all the way over to this, like, really powerful thing during Kofi Mania where they forfeit and allow Kofi to essentially advance in the gauntlet. And that was just like a testament to everything those two teams built together. And honestly, what can kind of be looked at as like this kind of lost era, because like you think about 2019, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's the last year kind of without that's the last year WWE exists just kind of by itself, right? Yeah. Before AEW comes into picture. And I think a lot of the new history of WWE is basically written from the moment Roman comes back and joins with Paul Heyman. Like, okay. I think you press a button there and it's like everything forward. So, the Kofi thing, gets kind of lumped back a little bit, I feel like. And I think that they were such a special act just because they made people happy. They made people laugh. They tried them as heels, and they were just so funny and so charismatic. They had to become faces. We know about the disaster heel turn that happened a few years ago when basically Big E obviously couldn't participate, and the creative team really had no interest in it. I don't really hold that against those guys because they did their part. Like, and it was like, obvious, like the thing with them is like, all right, well, where do we want to see them go now? And it's like, well, they've always kind of had one eye around the world. They've always had something going on with the Elite.
They've teased that since basically 2017 or 18.
Yeah, and I just think about those guys, and then once Biggie breaks his neck, the act is kind of fatally flawed from there because it was always about the three of them. Like, and it was like, you could watch those guys and feel like you're out there with your homeboys in a group chat or whatever, or your homeboys doing y'all thing in front of the world. And the thing about it was Kofi Kingston, like WWE, in my mind, was already done with him before, he linked up with the New Day. Yeah, he was going to be a mid-carder that was around, and he was winning some U.S. belts, but they had already given him the IC, the U.S. belt. They weren't really ever going to go forward with him, and then on him, which like this maybe is a little bit of old school working or whatever, he sees these young guys that come to him. He could have told them to fuck off, essentially, like at that point, because he had already kind of been established. But looking at it, I think he just looked around and was like, what else I'm gonna do? Like, at this point, how else I'm gonna survive? And in that game of survival, you walk into a career-making partnership. Kofi Kingston will be much more remembered for the New Day than being Jamaican at this point.
Yeah, being the fake Jamaican,
and
easily.
Big E, they brought him in and had no idea what to do with him.
No, he was a heater for Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah. IC champion a few times, but nothing. Like, he was already from 2012 to 2014 kind of like, there's all this potential, there's all this power lift stuff, but he's short. Like, and you could see that was the problem they had.
They were in. I mean, and even Big E acknowledged that he, as far as the New Day thing, he was before it popped up. He was like, "Hey man," he's looking around like, "I don't know if I'm gonna make it because like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm being used right." And then this happened, and you know, the rest is history. And it's like this thing, this collective, like they all were seemingly on the outs, and then this thing
Oh,
they
and
get paired
Xavier Woods,
together.
as you mentioned, was a total flop.
Yeah, like they were all on the outs, and then for some reason they all got put together. Gee, I wonder why. And then it worked out, and they ended up becoming one of the most recognized, beloved acts in the history of WWE. And it sucks that what happened to Big E, and like obviously time changes. You can't have stay in power forever, but you would have wished that they would have been able to come up with something, or you make a better use of them than they had the last, or post that hill turn that didn't go anywhere really. And they didn't capitalize. They didn't seem interested in capitalizing on it, and they're not getting used. And then they get hit with the "hey, come take a pay cut." And one of the things about them that was always known was that their contracts are all tied together to where like all three of them, their contracts had the same end date, so they can have collective bargaining power. So it comes to this, they're like, "Hey, you should take a pay cut." They both look like,
After all this money we've drawn in this promotion,
we're the fuck out of here. Bye.
like after all this money we've drawn in this promotion, and we have not mentioned it thus far. These are merchandising monsters, like
monsters,
and
merch freaks.
and
in the words of Nick Jackson, merch freaks.
If anybody would have sold all that shit, they would have got chances way faster than they did. Like if this was the Shield that was doing this. Oh my god!
So was that 2016 or 17 when they had the Survivor Series match between the New Day and the Shield?
I think that was 17.
17. So up to that point, the New Day may have sold more merch as the New Day with the bootios and the crazy shirts and the unicorns and all that shit than Reigns, Roman, Ambrose all together. Like up to that point, they were. I think you got to go back in time. People that were not watching wrestling at the point in time, 2015 through 17, New Day. They were on like they made John Cena lay the fuck down. That's how big they were.
Yeah. Great. Definitely says, I just want to destroy the Fed fan narrative before they pull the Mercedes ungrateful argument. The New Day don't have a tag trios win at WrestleMania until 2025. Yeah, they sunned them at a bunch of WrestleManias, made them the hosts, did a bunch of stuff.
What they did by adding Luke Harper and Eric Rowan to their match was disgusting.
Yeah.
It was like they had built the best program between two tag teams in WWE history, 2v2 ever, or best feud ever, best rivalry ever, and their moment was to get to, or their time was to get to, was at WrestleMania 34.
Yeah.
And then they just added them to that, and then they ended up beating both teams. Neither team won.
Yeah.
And then flash forward 5 years, Rowan and Harper aren't even in WWE. Great, Vince.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's tough, man. And it's like you can talk about the ups and downs in their careers and all that, and then obviously Kofi becomes a world champion. Big E wins it on a Money in the Bank thing years later. And Xavier even wins King of the Ring, and he's like this. He launches up, up, down, down, and that's a whole nother huge thing that revenue source that he ends up bringing for the company and discovering for them.
Always showed value. Those three.
Always. So it's like I always looked at Woods like they never got enough out of Woods. I know he was small. I know he obviously probably would have ran into like some who's gonna actually put this guy over type stuff, but if he ends up elsewhere, think about it, James. They promoted his non-WWE name for over a decade, like through their fucking IP.
Yeah,
that boy is he is smart. So like when he comes out as Austin Creed at AEW, because don't get it twisted, that's the only place these guys are going. TNA not happening. Lucha Underground, they trying to relaunch that. You won't see the New Day there. New Japan Pro Wrestling, they're black. So, you
you would disrespect the legacy of Bob Sapp and Ricochet? Shit. And Shelton Benjamin. Shit. And MVP. I'm running out of, and Kevin Knight. I'm running out of names quickly. Shit. Oh man.
But yeah, I really enjoy the New Day as an act, and I guess it's about what do you think they have going forward, because like I think Xavier Woods has plenty. Kofi I think has seen better days. Like
how old is Kofi now?
Kofi's 44 now. And it's like, maybe it's a chance for him to be like, you know what? Let me off the leash. Maybe I got something in there.
I mean, it's crazy to me that like it's crazy to me they let him go at 44, given that like this by the time they start pushing motherfuckers to the main event in WWE, he already been a champion. Already had the best match at WrestleMania. Already had an all-time classic at WrestleMania. Amazing. Let him go.
But
you think Jacob Fatu gonna mean more to WWE in the next decade than Kofi Kingston New Day did? Want to bet on that?
I don't know unless he gets that Samoan mega push, but yeah, man, it's like I see.
You seen him wrestle before, right?
What's up?
You seen him wrestle before, right?
I've seen him wrestle. I like Jacob Fatu.
You seen him wrestle in WWE before, right? To be more specific, okay. We'll see.
So like, I think Woods is gonna really come out of his shell, or quote unquote, and kind of retake, because he's always kind of been the third guy. I think he kind of goes into this. He's gonna be an awesome talker. He's gonna probably relaunch some video game stuff elsewhere. He's going to make a ton of money. I'm not worried about that guy at all. And the fact that they said, hey, we going to pay y'all 50% less. What do y'all think about it? And the New Day told them to get fucked. Immense respect. Yeah. Immense respect. Because, like...
they are not marks.
They're not marks.
They always had this in place in case whenever shit hit the fan. And shit hit the fan, and... it is what it is.
Hey, and if you're them, why would you not re-sign with WWE? Because you would assume you're a Hall of Fame act. You assume they're going to take care of you forever. You've been there forever. Kofi Kingston showed up in 2008, I believe. Yeah. Something like that. Austin Creed has been there
since like 2012 at least.
FCW, something like that. Like...
or he's been on the main roster since like 2012. No. 12 or 13 or something like that. Like, no, was he before? Did he come up before Big E?
Yes, he was up there.
Okay,
by
so 2012 then. 2012, because that shit with R-Truth, Because wasn't he like R-Truth? R-Truth brought him up like after the Awesome Truth shit, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that sounds around like 2012, 13. Yeah.
So like when I see them and I'm like, yeah, man, they were like. They told those guys to go. This is a testament to them that they did not have to take that 50% cut, because I imagine there are some guys that do not have other options waiting for them on the outside like that. So, like, they've cut the amount of work down in WWE, which is their justification to do this, simultaneously while paying Ari Emanuel several hundreds of millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars. Nick Khan the same, and this is just the unfortunate reality of like TKO in their attempt to destroy the wrestling business. First, they took like all those matches from you on pay-per-view. They tried to wrap it in, and when I say they, I mean their fans and all that. Try to wrap it in. Oh, it's more compact. It doesn't take all day. It's less, whatever. I'm like, but these shows are the same length.
Yeah.
Like,
I like having my screen on 40 minutes between matches, because for some reason, give me time to do laundry and fold my laundry or some shit. I don't know.
Walk around and get a sandwich, and you don't like to have some downtime, and use the bathroom between. Like, people dress it up and everything, and they were taking from you and stealing from you the entire time, right? So, what happens next is obviously it's not going to stop there. They're going to find ways to trim their money, and look, you get less matches on pay-per-view, you got less spots for people, there's less people you need ultimately.
WrestleMania, Saudi Arabia next year, like
less is less. They are trying to take from you, and as a podcast that means to be pro fan and pro wrestler, right? I don't know how you watched the TKO era of WWE. Look, and the Vince McMahon era of WWE had its own set of issues, right? However, this shit here is so maniacally evil, like in a way to where it's like, oh man, like at least Vince McMahon and them gave you the WWE Network for $9.99. It felt like, okay, you know, I got the entire history of wrestling, whatever. They have zapped that shit up and thrown it on YouTube and in bits and pieces and sold it for they stripped mine the network and auctioned it off for parts, essentially. And what they're doing, they're about to air this Backlash show. And I guess we can kind of roll into that. You know, they got rid of Jeff Cobb. They got rid of fucking Tangaloa. I don't give a fuck. But God bless them or whatever, but it's bigger than them right now.
Remember when Solo Sikoa main evented SummerSlam? Remember when like people were trying to talk about how charismatic and funny he is as a heel that eats shit and all that kind of stuff, and his book is faction. His book is fucking faction. This was a waste. Remember when we talked about this with Baron Corbin? All this shit they're doing, like when they did Corbin Goon, when it's Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre serving for fucking Baron Corbin. How do we see it? And they don't.
When you say they, who do you mean?
They meaning Vince McMahon. They want to push Baron Corbin as opposed to Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But they want to. They're so invested in this fucking bloodline stuff that they are putting out the Usos' little brother, change his name, make him be a monster or whatever else, and then like you see him not be good at the charisma stuff that like that family is like the thing against the Maya Via family tree through, you know, what their key success was overwhelming charisma and athleticism, not like great matches or whatever else. And like he's not that. He's not like his brother or his cousin. And then they had to bring in motherfuckers that are from other islands to make it to kind of piece this together. This Polynesian Civil War shit. And then like, oh no, never mind. We're done. We're done. We're not doing Solo Sikoa and trying to make him, you know, face against Roman Reigns ever again. He that shit is Bloodside B team.
Yeah.
Or Bloodline B team.
So they are airing this pay-per-view that is going to have Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu headlining it. And this is just another example of like weird stuff. So they're going to air the first two matches on ESPN. And what they're going to do is air 3 matches on the app. James, they are making people pay $30 a month for this app.
Mm-hmm.
So they are essentially selling 3 matches for $30. This is insanity.
Rich, there are promotions in the past where I've watched where I say, you know what? I will spend $30 for a match or 2 or 3 on a pay-per-view. Absolutely. AEW does that, right? WWE has done that for me. The NXT era, like before 2009 or before 2020, before pandemic era of NXT Black and Gold, would do that with takeovers for me. New Japan has done that. Stardom has done that. Some of these promotions still can do that. I don't think there is a single thing that WWE can put out right now, unless you literally handed me the book and let me book it, where I actually want to spend $30 to go see for 3 matches. That's absurd. Yeah. And when I mean give me the book, is like, get The Rock. Come on down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, you know, I don't know. I don't know what the average WWE fan that watches Faithful, you know, and true and loyal to the soil. I feel bad for them.
Yeah, it's like,
because they love this, they love promotion, and they keep getting fucked over. And like, don't get me wrong, I still love promotion in a way where like, I still have the nostalgic feeling. There's tons of wrestlers there that I still want to see and would like to see them doing cool things. They just don't have the opportunity to do it. And
look, I wish they were good too. I've recently started like watching it again in an effort to be like, okay, I need to know what it looks like so I can have
properly shit on it. Correct. You're fair. You're being fair.
No, there is that.
No. I
want to see the contrast.
It is unethical to shit on something for rage bait if you're not actually watching it. And me and you have never ran that game, that grifter game.
Yeah,
like, we're not Stephen A. Smith looking at the fucking playing solitaire while we're at the fucking finals. We don't do that. The shit we talk about, we're watching. We don't talk about Stardom because I'm not watching Stardom.
Yeah, like
that's the real.
I'm approaching it in good faith. Like I would like it to be good, and there are some stuff that I'm like, okay, cool, or whatever. Yeah. But like, I watch it and I'm seeing like this promotion right now, almost like I had a talk with a friend in wrestling and. He said something that's probably going to stick with me, I think, for the rest of the time that I'm watching wrestling. It's like you can learn a lot about a bad promotion or when a promotion is doing bad. So, like, I'm watching a lot of WWE right now to learn, like, kind of what's going wrong, what they're fucking up. And honestly, like, it's like a switch of, like, the AEW stuff from a few years ago. And what's going on now, like, it can change at any time. So, like, it's a good contrast to watch both. Like, as far as, like, to see, you know, because I got some stuff in AEW I'm going to talk about for this Dynamite that I'm about to pull out the hammer on.
This was a very uneventful Dynamite, but go ahead.
But, yeah, like, if you're, like, I think the people that are watching every week that, like, are just loyal to the soil, like you said, ride or die, and they've, like, felt like they had to make this commitment, not only for this, but they've been buying these crazy ass ticket prices for a few years now.
Them belts got to be super expensive still.
All that shit is like just adding up, and all they're doing is rinsing you, like, and telling you cannot enjoy pro wrestling in the way that you kind of always have. And I don't agree with their opinions mostly, but I do feel bad for them as people that feel like they can't engage with this probably lifelong hobby in the same way. Yeah. So it's like, I think they got a few choices. They could always choose to watch something else or whatever, but it's not going to happen for a lot of people. So it's like, I feel like both WWE TKO, because WWE really has there's no split here. And there's not like this faction inside of WWE trying to protect everything from TKO. They're like, nah, just
because if they were, they just be told to get the fuck out.
Right. So it's like,
you don't run this. We just let you run it.
Yeah. So it's like that board of directors. Look,
you heard that story from I think it was Meltzer. Like, hey, this is what people were trying to, you know, give Triple H comfort. Is like, nah, man. They told him, hey, you got to cut X number of people to bring up to be able to offset the number of people that are coming up and having to get new contracts. Make your cuts. And people were trying to be like, you know, Triple H, you weren't allowed to, you know. No, nigga, like he's a head. He is the GM. You know what the GM gets told? They get told to do what the fuck they're told or quit. Right? It is what it is.
Yeah. So, like, you know, it's rather unfortunate. Like, and I don't know. It makes me grateful that I can watch another promotion or whatever that will look. They'll give me so many matches that, like, I ain't even got to worry about it. Like, yeah. So, look, they'll give me one too many matches. So,
yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, man. I don't like the tone that it sets. Kind of. It's in Tampa. Are you gonna go, James?
You know what's funny? I want to say I was hanging out with Dan Coffin from Largo Loop a week or two ago, and he mentioned that. I said, like, you want to go to a wrestling show or whatever else? And he is like, you know, Backlash is in Tampa. I was like, oh, you've called my bluff. My bad. You called my bluff. My bad. Like, no, I'm not going to a.
Dan might find his way to get some hands on some company tickets.
Yeah, he might, and I still won't be there because, like, I'm not gonna miss playoff basketball. I don't even know what game is on Saturday. I'm not gonna miss NBA playoff second round basketball for this. No,
yeah, man,
that's insane.
What,
like right now in the middle of watching, I'm splitting my time right now trying to focus on like this 2-point Lakers lead right now, trying to figure out like what is going on. Yeah, it's 63-62. 2 minutes or a minute and change into the third quarter. I'm trying to figure out how OKC is allowing the Lakers to get so many good looks from three. Yeah, but it'll be a matter of time for they blow this. But it is what it is. But yeah, but this is me. Like, imagine me. I'm in the middle of doing a podcast with my best friend every single week, and my attention is split. Like, anyone's watching live stream notices me always taking a gaze off camera all the time. So like during watching at a WWE show, nah, man, that ain't gonna work for me. Nah, that ain't gonna work. Playoff basketball mean too much. In fact, I've taken hiatus off this show because of playoff basketball before. I've missed entire months. I left Rich alone. I've been a deadbeat podcaster before. to go on excursion to watch playoff basketball before. That used to be a thing annually. Rich be out here left on his own for months.
So we should go forward.
Yeah.
AEW Dynamite in North Charleston or Charleston, South Carolina.
I think it was just Charleston. I don't know if it was North. I didn't hear about that.
It was a 3-hour show.
Yeah. Did it need to be 3 hours?
Well, they got out of the way of the pay-per-view, so they
did it need to be 2 hours?
Look, they're arguably, I didn't like anything on this show or think it was worth it except Darby Allin and Kevin Knight. And
what was the opener?
Moxley Juice, versus Juice Robinson.
So basically, look, man, Sting and Shivani did a lot of heavy lifting for the show.
Love that.
They did a lot of heavy lifting for the show, but it felt like an inconsequential show aside from the main event.
Yeah, John Moxley and Juice Robinson just a box and an entire tub of mid just on my screen, just like there ain't nobody else but Juice Robinson y'all can send out there.
Juice came down to the ring, and I messaged in the chat that has Jeremy and Josh for keeping it strong. So I was like, "Hey, man, has Juice had an awesome singles match ever since the Moxley match in Sumo Hall? I think it was the Best Super Junior Finals." And like Josh was like, "No."
No, Josh said yes. I said no. But,
okay. Yeah. Fair enough. So yeah, but he was talking about a freak his go away match against Ren Narita, and then the cage match. That shit had a 7 on. I was like, oh, that's not awesome, Josh. That's just good. Like, that's just very good. That's not awesome,
bro.
But
I saw
whatever.
Like, if you sending Juice Robinson out there on your first
Ray,
match with Dynamite in a
singles
match, I'm gonna assume you're not fucking serious. Like, I'm just at that point with Juice right now.
Right. Tag team, different story. He still got it as a tag team wrestler. As a single wrestler, not so much.
Yeah. So what else was on this damn show? I thought the Mina Shirakawa and Harley Cameron segment was one of the worst things aired on Turner Network television, and more people should be upset with this because this fucking sucked. James, I was watching the show on my phone after I got out of the shower.
Go ahead.
And I was watching it on the way home, from Taekwondo and all that. And, I was just watching it sitting on the couch. Wife is like, "Oh, do you want to watch the show, in the room, whatever, relax?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll put it on." And then, I'll get somebody watching it with me or whatever. The first literal segment that is aired as I turn that bitch on and she walks in, Mina Shirakawa ripping Harley Cameron's top off, and Harley Cameron turn around with them things, essentially, and it's just like...
No, I want you to drop... No, when you say Harley Cameron things, I want you to drop the flex bomb. That's what...
Like, she turns around with them things, and basically...
Had to do it twice to the two of them.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, what is happening right now? And then it's like, there's no words to explain this or whatever. I'm just like,
no, there's not. It's pro wrestling.
Just incredible
you put
timing.
Your hands up like this.
Incredible timing. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, and I'm like, all right. And the best thing was, she was like, I don't really get it. look at how Mina's dressed. Like it doesn't make sense.
Right. Mina has her cleavage exposed, but the big sexual utilization, wacky, zany thing is the part where like her shirt gets ripped and she's wearing a bra, which is like, well, Mina's already in a bra, except it's
sequiny and shiny and stuff like that.
That's what I be talking about when people talk about like when we were talking about Riho with the skirt at one time. It's like you're sexualizing the bra, or you're sexualizing these things that aren't inherently sexual. You just have porn brain. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I just thought it added nothing, and you could have done 100 other things to not make it weird, essentially. I thought the Andrade video package era was great.
Yeah, they did one for Bandito later, yeah. Or actually, they did the Bandito one first, maybe? Or was it Roosh? Actually, they did all three of them? I know for sure. I know
Roosh had a match.
Roosh had a match. I know they had, but, they did one for Andrade. Andrade was on the show later.
Yeah,
Bandito had a backstage thing right before the main event too with Brody, and they for sure had vignettes.
Yeah,
and I was like, at least for those two, I was like, okay. I guess my main thing was after when the second play, I was like, wait, make sure that music is different, and the music was different. Otherwise, I'd be like, if you out here just running back the same fucking trumpets and horns, I'm about to say this bullshit. But it was different. They lucky. I was making sure y'all gotta keep on point. But yeah, it was different.
We had another chapter in what some people are calling the bruv line, which I kind of find hilarious.
It is.
And then they got Will Ospreay in there with Wheeler Yuta on top of his neck, and he's doing neck bridges. And Daniel Garcia is talking a bunch of shit in the camera. They have basically they talked about you came back from New Japan, we don't care, we getting right to work, and it basically the exercise ended, and then Moxley sat down next to him and started trying to drop knowledge on him essentially, and he was like, he asked him if he ever heard of the concept of death ground, which is standing on the ground, which you can't leave, is do or die. That's where you're at if you don't get your head and neck right. He said you could still have a career at AEW and hang out like the rest of these posers, but that's not what you want. This is the hardest 1%. It's going to be hard. Nothing else exists but what's in front of you. And then Moxley got up after that, and it was, I forgot what Moxley did, but it was something like he was dead serious for a second, then he wasn't serious anymore.
I don't remember the end of it, but I remember hearing the death ground thing, and I was like, that's interesting. I never heard of it, but like apparently it's some what do you call it? Art of War shit. But okay, cool. I liked it, and I know people are gonna make fun of the whole was it Wheeler Yuta or was it Garcia that was on Ospreay's back?
Yuta.
I know people are gonna do the AO pause, all that kind of funny stuff with those, but like people, that's how people train their necks in the dojo. Like they either doing that shit with people with body weight, other people on them, or they're like literally like doing it on their own, against the like lean up on their head, and they're doing it or whatever else. Like they're doing a lot of stuff to protect their neck or whatever else. So like the story is all this training is actually strengthening the muscles around his neck, and he's rehabbing his neck. Death Rider's rehabbing his neck. Given what they did with Doc Samson later in the show, for me, I was okay with this. It's another part of what they're telling with Moxley and with Ospreay. But once they do the Samoa Joe part, I was like, okay, should we go to that?
Sure. Before you do that, I didn't mind the content of this or anything. I think I just disagree with the direction, because I don't think it.
That's fair.
It enhances Will. Like, it feels like at the end of the day, Moxley is still the quote-unquote cool one.
I think that's fair. I also think they're also like telling all sorts of martial arts movies.
Mm-hmm.
So like eventually, at some point, Will Ospreay / Luke Armstrong, Luke Skywalker / Neo / Daniel-san will eventually get their cool.
So is it actually like instead of Rocky 3, is it Karate Kid 3? Like, can we make it to where Moxley is like Terry Silver and he's training him like incorrectly? I think I could get more into that and be like, what are you asking me to do this for? And then he's actually trying to hurt him and abuse him more. You could get me into it with that approach, but I don't think they're doing that. You're supposed to think John Moxley is altruistic. Meanwhile,
why would I ever think that after what I've seen the last 2 years with John Moxley?
Because we never know what to think with John Moxley at this point. The only thing about John Moxley that's for sure is nothing's for sure.
So I think that what they're trying to say, I think what we're trying to get at is he sees potential in Moxley. He wants Moxley at his best, and when Moxley becomes a champion, he wants his title shot because, like, the whole thing was he's been to the mountaintop millions of times before. He got toppled off the mountain, and before he can get back to the mountain, Hangman fucking lost, and then he fucking gave away his chance to be champion again until he turns heel and then obviously reneges on all that. You get my point. But like the next person he seems to be the great adversary for him because he's past Ospreay, he's past Hangman now. Now it's time for Ospreay. I think he's trying to build up his next. Like rival. I think that's might be the play at this. It's still in the early stage. Like I said, as we agree, like there's interesting things with all this stuff, but it's like, how long is this going to take to get to where people have a concrete idea of where this is going?
Yeah, I think I would be sold on the Terry Silver like angle. Be like, hey man, why are you training me like this or something like that? Like, and then he ultimately has to tap into something of his own. But
right, yeah, I mean that's all there with the whole thing of like, hey man, because Can I get to the Mojo thing now?
Yeah.
All right. So later in the show, Mojo was like, "Hey man, when Moxley fucked up your neck before you went on the shelf, like we were helping you, and now I'm back, and we want to answer. We want you to join the ops, and we could do similar things that they're doing for you that we could do, that they're doing for you that we could do as well." And then like
Why do I not remember this?
I don't know. It was like a 2-minute thing anyway. So
yeah.
And then there's also
I'm saying like the part of where the ops were helping Will Ospreay. I don't remember that at all.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then there's also where was I? Then there's also what happened at New Japan where, Kyle Newman's like, "Hey man, are you leaving United Empire?" And then Will's like, and this actually is the best thing they've done because it's actually pro wrestling where it's like, where post match it's actually faction turmoil and they're looking at each other in the eye and it feels like an actual press conference as opposed to this cinematic stuff, and there's nothing wrong with it. But my point is like, if New Japan does this stuff better. And it's also off to the side or whatever else. It's not actually like in the runtime of the match. Of the show or whatever else. This just post-match shit that you watch, supplementary, right? But I'm watching that stuff. It's like, okay, so Will Ospreay, like, people are trying to figure out what house he plays to. I'm like, hey man, Rich, I know Catherine's a big Harry Potter fan. I'm not really. I liked a couple of the movies, but like, I don't need the British special guy to have to choose a house to figure out what his skills and his virtue is. Like, enough.
Okay, Forbidden Door 2025 cage match follow. The ops rush the stage and try to rescue Will as Will's getting beat up by the Death Riders. Okay.
Yeah. And that follows in line with Death Riders and ops throughout the whole summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah.
I forgot what exactly the thing was, but I knew that it was in play, and it makes sense. It's just so much time has passed, and the ops are so small potatoes now.
Yeah, had a world champion and had Hook recruiting, added Anthony Bowens, But yeah,
Hook changed a AEW world title.
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
A year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we will have to remember that and be like, "What the fuck was Tony Khan thinking?" When did he get moved to ROH?
Never.
Because I had a thought when they were doing. I gotta tell you, I hate to say this, Rich. They were talking about Mark Davis on Saturday has a shot at national title against Jack Perry. And I thought to myself, and then they did a Jack Perry vignette where he's climbing a big fucking rock in the desert, and I was like, "Hey, man." And this after they already talked about early in the show. They already used MJF and Darby talking about climbing the mountain or whatever else. I was like, "Hey, man."
This man was climbing that mountain with no equipment, James.
Because it's a mountain, but it's not the same type of mountain that is Mount Everest, obviously. And I thought to myself, hey man, we already have a mountain. We already have all our mountain analogies and symbolism in the show, and you doing it again on a lesser stage because you didn't climb Mount Everest. You climbing this desert rock. Hey, Sammy Guevara got sit down to ROH and is it just because like the Young Bucks like him more that he hasn't been sit down to ROH? His tag partner that would make this shit actually be worth being on TV on Dynamite still in Collision, he almost died, and we don't know when he'll be back. So why don't we just have Sammy and Jack Perry kill on ROH? Like this
They're both good guys. They're both good guys right now, right?
This national title ain't worth a damn.
Yeah. It's
no one gives a fuck because why should they?
Yeah, like the first time they switched the belt, no one got pinned. Like
I didn't even think about that. But
the first time somebody won it, no one got pinned. Like
no one cared when Ricochet had it.
Yeah.
Then it went on to someone that has less shit going on for themselves than Ricochet.
King of the North does bring up a great point. Jack Perry did have a title match against Mascara Dorado on Collision and was crazy. I saw some of the stuff coming out of that, like that. Yeah, that.
I didn't watch that, and I'm sure that was awesome because it's those two. And if you get Dorado with no botches, you in for an awesome treat. And Jack Perry is a great big match wrestler.
They command no real estate on Dynamite with that though. Like,
right?
You would hope they would. I would watch that over Orange Cassidy versus Dax, but not everyone always agrees.
Well, that was a situation where like, oh, this is a double show, so that's just a Saturday match. Like if that wasn't a double show, that shit's put on Saturdays.
Okada and Brian Keith. I know it's good to give new wrestlers shots and everything, right? But I'm like, bro, can you like make it worth a damn when you announce Brian Keith, who has beat no one in forever, against Kazuchika Okada, and it's like, do we got to talk about it, James?
It's bad hairdo, bad haircut. When he came out, my first thought was, is he from Dallas? And I said this in the chat that it's the Largo Loop chat, so like it's a bunch of white guys and me, Rich, and Jeremy, and like it's some shit that I knew only Rich would pick up on when I say he's from Dallas. Like up in Dallas they got some funny haircuts. Niggas be rocking funny haircuts. They got all sorts of like inverted fades, and they got the famous Dallas shag, but they also got the inverted fade shit. And as high as his fade was, it was like his fade is coming up. It's a high fade, but it's so high that it's not even like a straight line around. It's at an angle, and it felt like the top of it is like 2/3 at the top, at like the crown of his head. I'm like, hey man, this is a funny haircut. Is he from Dallas? And people are like, oh, he's from Houston.
He's from Houston.
Okay, all right.
So you can see the back.
And then he had his rat tail. His rat tail's off center. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I was like, yo, you can see the back of the fade from the front of him.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like, instead of being back here, it's up here. Sorry for those that listen to the podcast and not watch the stream, but I'm sure if you're watching or you listen to the podcast, you should go to the stream to see what I just did on my bald ass head. As it shows an example of what just happened. But yeah,
I mean, you can see like a good marking point at least.
Yes.
So
yes, I agree.
But I was like, yo, man, does there need to be somebody to pull him aside? Be like, hey, man, James, can you roll rat tail?
I could.
Bring that back.
No.
We need the rat tail by the time FOH comes.
Absolutely the fuck not. No.
You used to have one, right?
Yeah, I had, because, okay, so growing up, when I was young, I was a big Hammer fan. So he had the tail. I had the tail. I wanted to cut the tail. My mom refused to let me cut the tail. I went to a barber, an old man barber named Mr. Bill, and I told him like, yeah, keep the rat tail. My mom wants to keep the rat tail, but I don't like it or whatever else. And then like I get my hair cut and then I'll leave out. When I leave out, my cousin Cecilia was like, where's your tail? Like, what you mean? And then I'm literally like reaching in the back like this. Like my dumb ass can't feel my one pat, realize it was gone. I'm like this, like it was gone. And then I had to tell, hey, he cut it off. I didn't tell him to not cut it off. I bothered my ass for that one. Right? Like I told a new barber to do this, even though there was instructions from my old barber not to ever cut it off. But then because Mr. Bill respected in the neighborhood, so Mr. Bill saved my life. Mr. Bill saved my life.
I was gonna, you can still have a rat tail to this day.
Nah, I would have cut that shit. Nah.
Did he pull out like the irregularly large scissors like at any point? Do you remember?
No, I didn't even feel it. I honestly not feel it. So I'm assuming what happened was he just, because I used to keep a high fade when I was younger. So I'm assuming what happened was the fade and then the tail. I'm assuming what happened was like when he was fading, he just took it right off. I didn't realize it.
Man, rat tail boy.
He saved me though.
I don't know if I ever had. I think so. When I was a kid,
right? It was like 1999 or some shit. And I still had the thing,
and
bro.
Tails in the back and shit. Like I had something going on. I'm sure I could find an old picture or something, and I'll put it up one of these weeks. But who else was on this show? Yeah, the match was just Okada, just Rainmaker 1, 2, 3.
I mean, it wasn't like it was a bad match.
Yeah,
it was a match that like you can possibly care.
Yeah.
And then also another match that like I thought to myself, somebody I had to block recently was making a comparison to Brian Keith being better than somebody just because they was both black, and I was like, this person is not better than Brian Keith is a good wrestler. He is not in that. You're putting him in conversations you don't belong in. And so seeing that this person is in a match with a person I've seen the other person get compared to have a match with, and I was like, all right, let's see it then. Since he's so much fucking better. Oh no, not even close. Okay. Shit. All right. This is why I mute people now. Like just like all those, those gender war accounts, I mute them if I see on my timeline you put rage bait on my shit, and then I go and look at your page, and then like it's 3 things I disagree with in a row, I'm muting you. I'm not even going. I'm not gonna do the this person. You find out later. Oh, this person blocked me with a reason. I'm not even giving you the satisfaction saying I don't want to talk to you, and you didn't like me for no other reason. No, I'm muting you. I'm not. And if I don't get a response, that means I'm muting you. You're muted to existence. Thanks for your follow. Whatever. Don't care.
Amazing. Darby Allin and Kevin Knight though, man,
killer match.
Sensational. Kind of stands alone as far as like what I liked about this Darby title reign is all these matches that he's done have felt very different from each other, and they felt like they've had kind of different stakes in them. It was like, okay, Darby and Ciampa was like, we just gonna go to war and we're gonna see who the last person standing, essentially, and we're gonna kick out a bunch of shit. We're going 5 stars on this shit. Then it's a Brody King match, and it's a monster versus small guy match or whatever. Yeah. Now it's like Kevin Knight versus him, so it's like a face versus face match, but it's like champion versus sub champion, and then like the athleticism in this shit, like that clothesline that Kevin Knight, that jumping out of the ring, hitting Darby with that shit on the
announce table.
The announce table. That shit should be in the Dynamite intro till the end of time. Like,
yeah, it reminded me a lot of like the Hiromu and Dragon Lee shit on the barricades.
Yeah, Kevin came out new gear. It felt like a big time match. I really enjoyed this, and I thought it was like, wow, like it was just like this show that I did not enjoy up until this point. I was like, finally, we got some real, shit going on here, and then like Darby just survives again. And then like throughout the show, they're building up Roosh. I think Roosh is going to end up getting the match after Okada. I think that they also had Pac set up a match with Darby. So this Saturday is going to be Pac versus Darby for the belt at Fairway to Hell. He gets through that. He's going to wrestle Okada next week. So basically what they did was they put all these matches that Darby was going to have in the C2 that he missed, and that's his title reign. I figured it out.
Well, was Roosh in C2? I can't remember.
You know, I don't think Roosh was this year, but he wrestled Kevin Knight in the C2.
Right.
He never got the Okada match.
Right.
He probably would have got a Fletcher match if Fletcher wasn't hurt.
Yeah.
Ciampa wasn't there. Brody King, I believe, was in that block, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So it's like, it's at least 3 of those guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so my takeaway from the match was like, this felt like, I don't know if it was intentional, but like watching it felt like a WCW Cruiserweight match. And they were just technical. They took their time up front, and then they proceeded to just show great athleticism and great selling. And like, I like this. This is the kind of wrestling I enjoy the most. Of like, they show their technical prowess, and then they start exploring some of the crazy shit they can do beyond that. But it's not like it doesn't turn into gymnastics. It was a display of great athletes, because like, it's not flips, it's dives. You know what I'm saying? And it is falls and crashes and burns from great distances because of the risks they're willing to take and the injuries they're willing to incur while trying to put this other person away, as opposed to some of the stuff. It can get, you know, for example, like when you watch someone like the AR Fox in Speedball match that followed right after this. Mm-hmm. Whereas like AR Fox doing all this flipping and diving and rolling stuff.
That nigga's incredible, dog.
He is, but it is. But after you watch the main event of Dynamite first, is like that's more easy to suspend your disbelief, as opposed to, oh, he has his arm tucked underneath the ropes. He rolls over, lands on his feet, then flips back over, lands on his feet, then flips back over again, does a roll through on the backside, then tries to dive, then Speedball then jumps onto the top of the ropes, and then AR Fox falls through to the floor, and then immediately a fucking moonsault off the ropes to the floor. Like, okay, that's a fucking routine. Nothing wrong with it. It's great in its own universe. But if I just saw Darby in Kevin Knight before, I'm gonna be like, hey man, I'd much rather see Darby and Kevin Knight. Mm-hmm. After that, if you do it in reverse, it probably works better for the viewer. For me, it was like, all right, I just saw the real, and I saw real is, and you showed me a fucking gymnastics routine. Not a not them dudes, they all can do the other way too. I just think that doing it the main event way is a more grounded, realistic, easier to digest way to somebody watching. So yeah, I thought it was a great match, and it's not like some super match, but I felt like 4.25. But it was super fun to watch them do that. Because, like, you know, a year ago, you're not thinking Kevin Knight's going to be the main event and title match for, you know, in Dynamite. That was a big step for him. And also, like, he's back-to-back weeks of it. Baby.
Yeah, it's like he had the MJF shot. He's had this one. I think they're trying to tell you that they see him in that role one day.
Yeah.
And, the Okada and Darby match should be very interesting next week.
It's gonna be great. Okada's gonna look. It's Okada versus a junior,
and it's Okada that's gonna have somebody taking it to him. Like Darby is gonna he's gonna put the pedal to the metal. I think.
Okada's gonna catch one of them. One of those fucking tope, the missile topes through the ropes, and he gonna get pissed off, and
bro,
it's gonna be
have
fucking
you thought
on.
about Okada countering the coffin drop with a drop kick?
No, because normally he falls or he does it to people on the ground, but like he might do it while he might do it on the floor. Like Darby gets Okada out to the floor, and then he goes for the dive, and you know he'll normally do the coffin drop to someone standing on the floor, and Okada just drop kicks him on the floor. I can see that.
Man, I can see Okada getting up and being like, "Oh, you thought it was sweet? Nah, I'm up." So
it's gonna be an awesome match. Like, That's gonna be an awesome match because Darby's gonna try it, gonna try hard as fuck, and you know, Okada's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna do that. My question is, does Takeshita screw him?
Maybe. All right, international champion versus world champion. We are not getting a clean finish. There's no way. Like, I would be shocked if Darby just is like, yeah, nigga, coffin drop 1, 2, 3, and Okada walks his ass back up.
That's what I'm saying.
I highly unlikely. I feel
that's
like
what I'm saying.
The Okada Takeshita build has been frustrating at best, I'd say, and you can throw. Everyone keeps forgetting these niggas wrestled a match in the semifinals that just wasn't all that great. It was good. It was fine. And I feel like Double or Nothing can't come fast enough because all they do is repeat segments, and it's not clicking, I don't think.
I don't know if it was clicking. It's like people was like, "Hey man, we don't care. You have stretched this shit so ridiculously far out that like
on this dope."
Yeah, it's like why your reasons to care. Like, bro, when was that Bandito and when was that Brodito tag title match with them? How long ago was that?
I think that was like at Wrestle Dream or something.
It's like October.
Yeah,
it's fucking May.
Right. This artificial.
They had their first match in you know, World's End in December. It's May now.
Yeah.
This is TKO booking. Stretching this shit out this long.
This is bad. Like, this is really bad. And I would love to know why. Like, and I know Takeshita has had New Japan commitments or whatever, and he was IWGP champion at a certain point. You got to get the belts off him. But then you didn't have to put another belt back on him. Like, and I wish they'd bring him home. Yes, home to America full time. But, maybe a push is not waiting there for you either. So, yeah,
that's real wise.
Yeah,
I mean, he only had one of the very best matches of the year, with Yota Tsuji on the 4th of this year. So. Now, let's ignore that. Okay, it's
incredible.
Oh boy.
So, I think that's all I have for AEW. I was not happy with this show this week,
bro. That collision,
pitiful. Actually, the 5-on-5 match was pretty fun with the young.
I watched it on 2x speed. It looked like it was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. And actually, Jamie Hayter and Sky Blue wasn't that bad. Like, I thought they were.
Jamie likes wrestling her and Julia Hart.
Yeah, like Sky Blue was like showing charisma. She was. I think it might have been like probably one of the best performances of hers that I've seen, and they had a cool finish with the Haterade off the top rope. But a lot of stuff, it just wasn't really heating up. But we got this list from my man SP3, who works for Sports Illustrated, and he ranked the 20 greatest WWE superstars of all time. It's an interesting list, to say the least. I feel like when you say WWE, that goes from 1960 to present day. Bob Backlund didn't make it on this. Pedro Morales,
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be heavily skewed towards Monday Night Raw era and above.
Yeah, they got Bruno here at number 10.
Oh, and he only held the belt for 7 years, so there's that.
There is
quick wiki would have put him on there, so or Chat GBT search 20 greatest, and Bruno's on. Okay, and I guess so. 7 years, date Jesus.
Lists are lists, but there are a couple funny placements I think that are cause for conversation. Should I just go 20-1, James? How you want to do this, or do you want to do how we did the other list?
What did we do before?
Where basically we start at number 20 and then we go up and see who survives.
Okay.
So we got Becky Lynch right here. at number 20. Let me open up a new tab here. So I've got Becky at 20.
Okay.
19, we've got Mick Foley.
Okay.
Who will survive? I would think Mick Foley survives.
Yeah.
Number 18, Chris Jericho versus Mick Foley.
Jericho, probably.
Jericho. Number 17, CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. That's
At
a
the
tough
peak,
one.
At the peak, I go with CM Punk.
Yeah, I think I go with Punk too. 16, Andre the Giant.
I gotta watch these matches.
I mean, you're talking about greatest, of all time.
Do I have to watch these matches?
That's you. Yeah, I mean, maybe,
If this is a who would you rather watch, I wouldn't even have.
I don't know if that was it. I don't know if that was it, but I don't think I could put Andre or CM Punk over Andre the Giant just of how they canonized this guy.
Bro,
what do y'all think?
How many? Look, I'm not. Andre wouldn't be on my top 20, but whatever. I get why he's on there, whatever. But just as far as me going back and rewatching stuff, even from that era, that shit stunk even by its era standards.
Andre is very limited. Let's just say that.
Especially in that era, like WrestleMania 3, he's just fucking he's a core, or he's almost like those animatronic animals, like Chuck E. Cheese or whatever else, or Five Nights at Freddy's. He's basically one of these. He's like a big, he can't move.
So CM Punk versus Randy Orton at 15.
Punk over Orton.
Absolutely. Orton, it's amazing. Orton got on this thing, quite frankly.
Let's see who else. I mean, 14-time champion or whatever, 15.
Yeah,
whatever
he kind of got to put him.
He's on there because of Chat GPT. Like, all right, how about the great moment? Like, it's things like he's not on there for consistency. He's on there for longevity, right? Because like you say, all right, give me his peaks. He has some really good peaks, but like, you'd be like, all right, what's his best 6-month stretch? And it's like 2006. Well, goddamn, that was a long time ago.
CM Punk, number 17 versus Edge, 14. I'm taking Punk.
Yeah.
13.
It is crazy how much better Edge is on this. Edge, like you put Edge versus Orton is Edge easily.
Yeah.
Like to me, that close and like he's that much actually more effective than Orton was is actually kind of funny.
Edge or Jericho? I think I'm taking Jericho.
I would too.
Yeah. So CM Punk 17 versus Roddy Piper 13.
I'm
still taking CM Punk. I'm taking CM Punk. I think Roddy Piper has one good match ever.
Yeah.
And and
then the racism stuff. So.
And then the dog collar stuff. But
that wasn't WWF. That was WCW.
Right.
So that shit don't even count.
Right. So CM Punk versus number 12, Kurt Angle. I think I'm taking Kurt Angle.
I mean, yeah.
So Kurt Angle's 12. He's our new survivor.
Like I think Punk also gets hurt with the stereotypical stuff because it's like, all right, if you do the JBL Randy Orton, you build a WWE superstar out of clay or whatever else. He looks hell of a lot more like Kurt Angle than CM Punk.
Yeah, I think that would have probably been a pretty interesting match, honestly, and seeing how
because like Angle's like a perfect wrestler. Yeah, he's like a perfect wrestler.
You can both be face and heel. It doesn't matter what the dynamic is. Like it can flip either way. So number 12 versus 11, Kurt Angle versus Randy Savage. That is freaking hard.
Savage is where on this list?
Savage is number 11.
He's too far down. Savage. Sorry.
Yeah, he's the first Missile WrestleMania. Before Shawn. Too iconic. Kurt Angle's great. Savage is
a dude that's like he's not gonna be on the Mount Rushmore, but at a certain point he was.
Yeah. Savage number 11 versus Bruno number 10. Bruno's promos are so good, you can watch them to this day. Now the matches, Bruno was a brawler. Imagine John Cena, even a prototypical version of John Cena, even for the 60s and 70s.
I can only go off of what I've seen, and from what I've seen, for me, it's Savage.
Yeah, sorry. I think I'm going with Savage as well. But Bruno's awesome.
This is straight out due to ignorance. I do not know. I'm only going off what I've seen from all these people. That's why I kicked Andre the Giant in the ass earlier.
Look, great brawler. Bruno has a garden going fucking insane.
Yeah. Was able to get blood too back in the day.
Incredible talker. So check out some of the promos with him and Larry Zbyszko. I think I check that stuff out like once a year.
Mm-hmm. Josh got to you, huh?
Oh, I knew about it.
Nah, Josh praised that shit. I feel like once a year I hear from Josh talking about that shit. I'm like, look, man, I'm sure it's good. I'm not going back and watching 70s wrestling at this stage,
bro. Like
I can't even keep up with 2020s wrestling,
bro. It's the ultimate teacher-student storyline, and then it's like, oh, it's incredible how they do it. They have, and
then Zbyszko never beats the nigga neither. It's so compelling. This nigga never beats him.
Somebody got to be a legend. So we've got Bret Hart versus Randy Savage. Holy shit!
Fuck. That's tough for me.
I'm taking Bret. I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Bret. Well, here we go, James.
I would say this though. If there were no Hulk Hogan, the answer would be Savage. But because Savage was born 7 years too late, he didn't get to inherit the WWE that Bret inherited post Hogan. That Savage absolutely would have done better in as far as drawing than Bret did. So there's that. But you're right. You're right.
I think I'm still taking Bret.
No, you're right. I'm just saying as far as like, but if we get the time machine and we take 80, 80s, 88, 87, 86 Savage
and bring him in 94,
95, and you tell Vince who you picking, he's picking Savage.
I think he is. Because he's always picking against Bret at that point. But Bret just keeps rising the fuck up. That's the thing.
Fuck you. Give Savage his respect, his due. You nasty bitch. You nasty for that. Shit. No. He's just going to keep kicking his Canadians back in like he's Kendrick Lamar. Fishing man. That's terrible.
Okay, number 9. Bret Hart versus number 8, Shawn Michaels.
Oh, man. Look, man, I was alive for it. I was alive for it.
This is fucked up.
I was alive for it. If we taking both of them in their primes, is to run a company, the answer is Shawn. The answer is Bret. But the thing is, Shawn came back, and then when he didn't have to be the guy, he could just be a luxury. He gets to add on to his career in a way that like Bret wasn't allowed to. The answer is when the shit hits the fan and there's real fire, and the shit's really, and you know the ammo's live. The real answer is Bret.
Look, Shawn Michaels doesn't become a top guy without Bret Hart. He was always chasing Bret. He owes a lot to Bret. He fucked over Bret.
Yeah.
He participated in the fucking of Bret.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, Shawn's a way better personality and promo than Bret. Yeah. But that's neither here nor there.
But like
I was alive old enough to see it. I was old enough and alive to see it. The answer's Bret.
And Bret was carrying the new generation like it wasn't Shawn. Like that was when they were real contemporaries. And was Bret older than him? Yeah, he was. Or whatever. Yeah. He was gonna get that probably deference from Vince. And Shawn was always gonna be the one that came for him. But I feel like Bret carried the shit with so much honor and so much like when I thought of the WWF, I thought of Bret Hart and then later Shawn. But like
they won they would like in these documentaries are clicking them. They like to blame. They like to act like Brett was the face of all this shit when and forget just magically forgetting that their buddy, that 7 foot guy that's so cool, was the champion for over a year, and he was the worst drawing champion up for a long time in WWE history. And then naturally they just yada yada blah 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 Sean, and then he's gone, and then all of a sudden Attitude Era. Nah man, like there wasn't a lot to work with. One lot to work with in that era. And Brett happened to be the best draw out of all of them, even though everyone was saying they need to get it all Brett. But when it was time for get somebody besides Brett, they did worse than Brett in that time.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels was not Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was not The Rock.
Here's a fun one. Number 9, Bret Hart versus number 7, Triple H.
Oh shit! How far do we need to bring down Triple H? Because I know Sean's in front of him. Who else in front of him? Who else? Who we got to bring him down to?
I'm taking Bruno Sammartino over Triple H too. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
I can speak on this.
Triple H and Randy Savage.
Oh, Savage! I ain't close.
Kurt Angle versus Triple H.
Angle.
Roddy Piper versus Triple H. I think this is what we're talking about.
I'm stopping there. But here's the thing, though. You know how much further down I can put down? Piper.
Look,
because I'm taking Edge and Jericho before I'm taking Piper.
I was gonna say CM Punk or Triple H.
Same thing. Look, yeah. Piper needs to go way down.
Piper needs to go way down. Triple H needs to go way the fuck down.
Yeah, but he needs to still be in front of Piper.
Yeah. Then we've got Bret Hart versus The Undertaker.
I was alive for it.
Yeah, a lot of
Look,
Undertaker.
same thing with Sean. Sean at Bret the WrestleMania Street added a lot to the post thing, but Prime is with Bret.
Yeah, like The Undertaker's an institution. I think that should count for a lot. They expanded WrestleMania in the stadium era on his on the streak. But man,
that's true.
I don't know, man. This is hard because Undertaker has essentially 30 years.
Yeah.
Bret has 12 and a half, maybe. And Bret was a main eventer the last 5. Undertaker was your long-running gimmick act. They made the world champion, a couple different times. Undertaker's wrestled all these opponents. This is hard. Like, part of me wants to lean towards the Undertaker.
I mean, in totality, the answer is Undertaker.
I think Bret would say Undertaker, honestly.
I just saw them.
He's one of those guys that Bret respects.
That's true. That's true. There's also the part where, if we talk about Bret's era, we talk about Undertaker's era during that Bret era. Undertaker the worst of Undertaker's entire career is doing Bret's WWE WWF peak, because he's doing all this other shit except for Mankind that sucked.
Yeah,
he's wrestling fucking Giant Gonzalez, and he's wrestling
what do you guys think
Bundy and shit, and
Undertaker or Bret Hart. One for Bret, 2 for Undertaker. Let us know in the chat. Yeah, make sure you get your merch. Make sure you like the podcast. Leave us a review. All that stuff while these votes come in and all of that. It's an interesting list. I didn't know.
Like, Undertaker probably has his highs are as high as Bret's, and maybe even higher. But his lows are certainly lower than Bret's. Yeah. Certainly lower.
Yeah, not Bret, even close. Frankie, real quick. Bret Hart or the Undertaker? Who's greater?
WWF careers.
WWF careers. Who's greater? Let me know, Frankie. 1 or 2. 1 for Bret, 2 for Undertaker.
I think you can type Bret or Undertaker. I think he's capable.
All right, y'all. What a
maybe he's not.
Okay. I got 1 Undertaker. I got 1 Bret. Okay, next one in is a tiebreaker. Next one in. It's close.
We trying to get the best of 3, now it's the best of 5.
Yeah, right. Yeah, look, them 2 came in at the same time. Does Taker have a Brett WrestleMania 8 Roddy match in his first 15 years? He does not. The best thing he has.
Oh no, that's my point. That's why
Yeah.
I'm voting for Brett.
It's Brett.
Yeah.
Dex is a settler and shoulder.
All right then.
Put Brett. So it's Brett. All right. Bret Hart, number 9 versus number 5, Roman Reigns.
How low do you need to drop Roman? Because we were just talking about Shawn and we were talking about Undertaker earlier.
Man, I think a lot of people would be furious at the thought of Roman Reigns not being in the top 5 nowadays, just because of the stats.
Okay, Roman Reigns or Undertaker then?
That's a tough one.
It is not.
Roman Reigns or the Undertaker. I think Roman's just like so much more important at this point than the Undertaker.
Cool. Who you rather watch?
At their best, I think I'd rather watch Roman.
At their best, we're talking. At their best, that is like Shawn Michaels nah. Because there are tons of matches I could like. I don't do this anymore. Actually, the network ain't up. But like you'd say, hey, give me your top 5 or top 10 Undertaker matches or whatever else versus your top 5 or top 10 Roman Reigns matches. How many of them shits from Roman Reigns going to be still fucking Shield matches?
I think at least one of the Cody matches will be on there.
Yeah.
It's interesting. 11 main events. That's a lot, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I know a lot of them shits fucking sucked.
A lot of them fucking sucked.
Let's do this. Common opponents. A common opponent.
Okay, under Triple H.
I think Undertaker was better with Triple H. Caught him
Brock
younger.
Lesnar.
Caught him younger.
You said common opponents, and now we got to do common
both
opponents?
in 2015, actually. Who had the better matches in 2015?
Brock Lesnar?
Brock against Lesnar.
So I think that I would say the best match out of those 3 would be the Lesnar match. I'm sorry, it would be the Roman match at WrestleMania 31.
I didn't like the SummerSlam match, but I did like the Hell in a Cell match.
Same.
So I would put 1, 2, 3. Let me see who else as a common opponent. John Cena. Well, he never really worked John Cena.
Yeah, that's not a real thing.
I don't think Owens worked. Seth Rollins. No. There's a lot of people. There's only a few, I think. CM Punk. Punk. So Undertaker versus CM Punk or Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. That's a tough one.
I still haven't watched that main event from the other week.
I think if you ask someone right now, they'll probably say Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Yeah, it's interesting on that one.
What do you give that match? Star rating?
I went 4.5.
Well, then
I would have probably went the same on
exactly.
Undertaker
They're both
Punk,
4.5 star matches then.
Yeah, that's interesting. Jericho. No, there's no real Undertaker Jericho notable matches. Orton.
Or Undertaker had better match with
Undertaker
Orton.
Better match with Orton. Edge. He had better match with Edge.
Undertaker had better match with Edge. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I'll go with you on this one. I'll go with Undertaker.
Yeah.
On this one. So we've got Undertaker versus John Cena. I've got Cena.
And that's how you know, because it's like there's not even Roman's not even on that Cena level.
We've got John Cena versus The Rock. It's tough, man. It's tough. It gets nasty, bro. It gets nasty. Because you asked me who I want to watch. It's The Rock, right?
Right.
But brother,
Cena has so many better matches. So many better matches.
Nearly as good of a talker. And like was the top guy. And,
he might
down.
be a better talker. Just Rock's a better personality.
Yeah.
I'm okay with saying Cena.
I'm taking Cena.
I'm okay with
I know
saying
that's
Cena.
that feels blasphemous. Right?
Look.
Remember, we are ranking WWE superstars. On my GWE, Rock was in front of Cena. So
right, like for WWE's purposes of being, all that kind of stuff is Cena. My personal taste, Rock.
Yeah,
I have never bought a John Cena shirt. I bought 2 Rock shirts.
So we've got we've got John Cena versus Hulk Hogan.
How far are we dropping Hogan?
Oh my God!
Because the Hulk Hogan was not better than John Cena.
Hogan was better than John Cena. Bro,
for the era, maybe. Not actually like, hey, best television versus best television, and like make it a versus where it's like, yo, your 10 best feuds,
bro.
Savage,
Cena,
like the Savage, like Mega Powers breaking up is
nothing like the Mega Powers breaking up.
Right. But he don't have. But you go below that, like there's an Edge. There's a CM Punk. There's a Triple H. There's a Shawn Michaels. There's a million things that John Cena has done that are like below that.
Cena's got Savage. He's got Andre. He's got the Bundy cage match, which is kind of underrated. Him and Warrior. It's tough, man.
Explain to me the only thing I remember from the build to Warrior versus for WrestleMania 6 between was Warrior telling Hogan he should crash his plane. That's all I remember. That's all I remember. So you got to tell me about the build besides that. I don't remember.
So the back-to-back, they appear against each other in the Royal Rumble, essentially, and set it off, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening." They're in there. They tagged together a few times, I think, against the Twin Towers, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Which is Boss Man and
Typhoon.
No,
not Typhoon. It's another big dude.
One Man Gang. Akeem.
Yeah.
And
was Akeem Tugboat?
No, Akeem was One Man Gang.
Who was
somebody else?
Tugboat was somebody else.
He was Fred Ottman.
He had 2 gimmicks.
He was Tugboat, and then he was.
Was he Typhoon?
I think he was Shark. No, Shark was Earthquake. Shark was Earthquake in WCW, and Tugboat was.
I'm mixing up Fat White.
Something else. Yeah. But anyway. Hogan had the Roddy Piper stuff, the war to settle the score, and all that stuff. WrestleMania 1. It's a big thing.
Were these things good? Because Andre was really good. Savage was all-time stuff.
He has The Rock. I think he might have the better Rock match.
Okay, I would go 28... 18, 29.
I'll go with you on that.
But there's also this part. The build was the build, and then they had to fucking do it in reverse and made Rock the heel in the match. They told a story one way, and then the match happened. They had to work it opposite because the crowd didn't buy their fucking story. They didn't care.
I think that speaks to Hogan's kind of greatness.
I don't think so. I think that means that they told a story backwards. That'd be like saying that, whatever.
If you look at that build, Hogan was like trying to kill The Rock. Like he was like trying to kill him with like what was them trucks Karl Malone drive, the 18-wheeler or some shit like that. Which match was better, Hogan and Sid at Mania 8 or Miz and Cena? Hogan and Sid by a mile.
I don't even know why they'd be compared. Why would those two be compared?
Maybe that's their worst, whatever. I don't know.
Also, Hogan and Sid was bullshit. They ran 40 niggas out there at the end so they could get a finish.
That's true. Match.
Bullshit.
They ended fucking Miz and Cena. That shit shouldn't have restarted, you know? That shit should have been double count out, you know? Hogan and Cena is tough because, like, Hogan goes to WCW.
Hogan built the
and
shit.
You can't count that.
Hogan
shit.
built the shit.
And he built it.
I get it.
Cena is like,
but I'm always like, hey man, I understand. I get all that context. I'm talking about just rewatch value. I'm talking about me specifically for rewatch value. Maybe that's unfair. That probably is unfair and biased, but
there's a lot of Fruity Pebble to John Cena. You know,
that's true. But at least that shit's funny.
Yeah. Look,
a lot of that Hogan shit just sucks.
Bro, if you watch some of that Hogan shit, you'll be fucking dying laughing at some of the shit this nigga says.
Some of the weakest chair shots you'll ever see in the history of pro wrestling.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Maybe we should do this. Let's add in Austin, because he's the only person that's left at number 1.
Okay.
And we've got Cena, Hogan, Austin. Hogan or Austin? I'm taking Austin.
For me, it's Austin.
I'll take Austin.
See what I mean? Like, Hogan built this shit, but we still pick Austin. I understand that Cena's not Austin, but my point is like,
there we go.
But Cena has so much shit that is quality. There's so much that also like for me puts him over Hogan too. Like the best of Austin is better than the best of Hogan, and like there's so much more great Cena than there is great Hogan.
I think there is. I guess that leaves us with Austin and Cena then. Like, and
I'm fine with it just being Austin.
I think Austin, like, obviously, I think Austin has way less than Cena because
that's true.
Obviously Cena's a compiler in
right.
that sense, and
not compiler so much as he
had more longevity.
Okay. We got to come up with
nothing
a word
changed. Well, okay,
we got to come up with a word for someone that's compiler but also is awesome. Like LeBron. Yeah. LeBron. When we think of compiler, you'd say it as a negative. It's like, nah, it isn't a negative. This dude was awesome for fucking forever. Or this dude was really, really good for forever.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, that Austin thing, WWE moved at a different pace then. So what Austin's career was like, you talk about someone building it, that nigga rebuilt it. Like, and then never got to really, and Cena never overtook Austin. Where is Cody Rhodes on this thing? I just noticed Cody Rhodes is not on this thing.
Should he be on there?
He has to be on there by this point. He was a 3-time WWE champion, main event WrestleMania 5 times. Seth Rollins.
How many real main events? How many real main events?
3 at least.
Yeah, 3.
3 at least.
Okay. Who? All right. Where were you? Okay. Where are you putting him then? Do you put him in front of CM Punk?
I don't think I would put him in front of CM Punk.
Right.
But after that, I think.
Where is he? Okay, so
I think a Cody Kurt Angle. I think a Cody Kurt Angle conversation is more than worthwhile.
Yeah, but the thing is, everyone thinks that Kurt Angle is so much better than Cody that I don't think Cody can even get a fair shake on that. So you got to put him below Angle.
Roddy Piper.
He's better than Piper.
Edge. He's better than Edge. Orton. Better than Orton.
I put him in front of Orton. I'm fine with that.
Becky Lynch. Better than Becky Lynch.
Yeah. He's better than Andre too. So there's that.
Andre, yeah. So
only person to argue that, like, I know Josh Smith. He's fucking furious about this Andre slander. I don't care. I'm not watching that old shit. Sorry, brother.
For me, it's Austin. Like, ultimately, like, I don't know, like the Cena Hogan thing. I feel like we can probably talk about it forever, but like, ultimately, Austin beats them both. And for me,
Steve Austin was so cold. Steve Austin was so cold that I was out here rooting against the fucking Rock, man. I was rooting against the Rock. Like, it don't make no sense.
Yeah.
This nigga has motion beyond your belief. Steve Austin has so much motion that people pretend he's not a woman beater.
Yes.
They just don't even worry about. Don't even talk about that. Sorry, bro. Sorry. I'm willing to acknowledge that. You won't go on no other wrestling show. People actually will acknowledge that with dudes. Women will talk about that. Other dudes doing wrestling shows ain't gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
He's gonna quickly move along.
Move the fuck on. Like I'm about to do.
Hey,
That WrestleMania 17. Hey, next time you got some free time, everybody can listen to
Deborah.
this. Watch the WrestleMania 17 entrance of this nigga Austin walking out in Houston, Texas, and tell me that ain't the hardest shit there is. Like, no pyro, no bullshit, no fancy entrance. They hit the nigga's music, they go crazy, and they keep getting louder. He just walks to the ring. Like, that, he's that nigga, bro. Like, and the fucking rewriting of Steve Austin that is attempted to be done by Paul Levesque and the powers that be at TKO, I will not let it fucking happen. I will go to the grave fighting for the legacy of Stone Cold Steve Austin. When he came back in 2022, I didn't give a fuck because he should have been reaping the benefits for all this shit anyway.
And the funny part about it is, like, look, man, I didn't care neither. And then that bell rang, and he took his first bump, and then he was fucking good again. He was still good.
No, I say I don't give a fuck. I was like, he should come back and get it. All this shit is his anyway. That's why I was bring him back again.
Yeah,
and I was done seeing old niggas come back. Austin came back. Run it up. Break the glass, brother.
Look.
Hell yeah.
When people talk about this Roman Reigns and Cody and CM Punk and main events, is like, hey, man, you know, at any given moment, because of what happened in 2022, Steve Austin and The Rock is still at play. And I got to tell you, whatever the fuck these, who past, present, whatever else.
All y'all niggas got to go to night one.
Them niggas, them gonna be night one. Roman Reigns would be a night one nigga if them two ever decide to do this for $5 million a piece for one night.
Look, I hope that WrestleMania 43 is Rock versus Austin.
There's no way that match will be good. But I'll still watch. You know how much them Vortex, you know how much them seats will be worth? Oh my god.
They book Rock versus Austin. I'm all in. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, man. Mike gotta go. Mike gotta go.
I think that's a good place to leave it.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening to the show. If you're watching from the stream, be sure to wait till the show notes are up in the podcast. You can donate to the red circle link there. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network besides Money Trader. You have Keep It Strong Style, All Things Elite, AEW Match Guide, Wrestling Art with Chris Things, Joe Shing Around, Imps Adventures, Tunnel Talk, and the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.
All right, I'm done recording.
That's funny you asked that, King of the North. I swapped out the Ricky Sosa button because ain't nothing going on with Ricky Sosa no more, seemingly. So I put the Funk Flex bomb in its place. Oh yeah, WNBA starts tomorrow. We should have talked about that. That's all right. I got plenty of WNBA shit on my other channels, and everybody's dropping their previews and shit. Oh, I can't wait. It's like the script has been refreshed all over again, and it's just insane analysis going on. So
what was the one woman you sent me a clip over? She said that she thinks the Fever played better without Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I saw that today. She was on with Monica McNutt. I watched the whole video, and I was just like, everything she said was statistically and factually wrong. Like, it was just like, the numbers don't support this, the record don't support this, their scoring went down, they scored at a less efficient rate, and they had a better record with Caitlin. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know. It's like the script is. She got to prove it all over again, James.
Well, I mean, she only played 13 games in her second year. Like, I don't understand the. I don't understand the whole thing with like the GM survey. That's part that's actually concerning. Not the media. The media is the media, but like, how are GMs thinking that Chelsea Gray is better than Caitlin Clark?
93% of them.
And also Paige Beckers. Well, she's better than neither one of them.
93% say Chelsea Gray is the best point guard in the league. James, she doesn't really even play point guard anymore.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck their whole thing is doing. Like, it's It's very bizarre, and it's like the whole thing of who you start a team with too. That thing went to Paige, 33%, then 20 for Caitlyn, 20 for Asia. I'm like,
they just picked her girlfriend #1 overall because they had the #1 overall pick. I don't care about the girlfriend part, but it's like, if she was so fucking good,
bro,
they wouldn't have the first pick.
Exactly. Like, you saw what Caitlyn did when she first came in, and I know they had Aaliyah Boston. I know they had Kelsey Mitchell, but brother, they had Enrique in Dallas. They had DJ Carrington, who was like defensive player of the year or all league defender or some shit like that. They had some talent. They were awful, rotten. Now Paige was awesome, but
yeah, I understand that, but it's like, I don't.
But nah,
Paige
bro.
was awesome, but Paige was also not as good as Caitlin Clark was during her rookie year. And they're the same age.
I know. And Paige is older. Paige is slightly older. James,
and doesn't have the knee issues.
James, did you know Paige is older than Aaliyah Boston?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, and it's funny. I mentioned that in one of the videos I did. I was like, so they brought up injury histories, but like Paige missed parts of 2 different college seasons. Like, I think an ACL on both knees, if I'm not mistaken.
She tore ACLs.
Yes.
Caitlyn had a groin issue. Like, that's soft tissue versus actual structural stuff. These aren't the same things. One's way more difficult than the other to deal with.
AZ Fudd tore them shits too, and the league voted them as the best young core. I'm like, did Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark die? Like, neither of them are going to turn 27 for another 3 years. Like what are we doing? Like,
I don't know, man.
Like, yeah, they just added the Toronto Tempo King of the North. You might as well pop up at a game. They're gonna kind of stank, but they got a couple people like Marina Mabry will probably entertain you. She got in the gym range, and Brittany Sykes she's kind of a flopper. And she foul baits and all that stuff, but they're athletic. They're going to play a fun style. Got a good coach.
Who's their coach?
Brondello.
Why did they fire her again? Why did the Liberty fire her again?
I don't. I think there was something with the offense that was getting fucked up. Like, they weren't like maximizing Jonquil Jones or something like that.
I thought this was like her best year last year.
It all came apart for them.
In the postseason
last year, yeah, like sort of the second half of the year into the postseason.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true because they came out the gate and they were like undefeated. They were like 11-0 or some shit. Okay, but here's my thing, right? They won the title in 2025. They come out the gate crazy for 2024. 25 they lose. In a year, in less than a year later after winning a title, you fire the coach. Like, that's some George Steinbrenner shit.
Yeah, Joe Side not fucking around.
All right, there. Are they a better team? Oh, who didn't they get better this year?
They hired a Warriors assistant. His name
no. Didn't they add somebody to the roster though?
Who the fuck did they get? Yeah, Satu under some ridiculous contract. It was like, all right, bro, this don't make no fucking sense. Bro,
so the sisters are there.
No, Nyara didn't get protected, and she's actually on Toronto.
Oh, okay.
So it's funny. It's like one sister leave, one come in. We got the other one.
That's
Kate
like
Martin got cut today.
That's like what's called in the CrossFit game.
Do you see Kate Martin got cut today?
Yeah, I saw.
It was funny.
We'll see if she gets picked up.
People immediately start the agenda. Be like, Caitlyn had a grand total of 0 WNBA players on her team at Iowa now. I thought it was funny. Well, yeah, the games tip off tomorrow.
On top of my favorite Iowa Hawkeye like that.
What else? Who's on tomorrow? We got the Mystics and the Tempo, so they're on tomorrow. The Liberty and the Sun, and then the late game is the Valkyries and the Storm. Bro, the Storm are gonna be trash, but they're gonna be young and like kind of fun. Like, you know. Like,
what do people think?
I think Malunga's gonna be an all-star, but nobody fucking sees it. Like, they don't know what they watched it at the end of last year.
Why would she regress?
They just don't see it.
Why wouldn't she just keep getting better?
Bro, they don't see it coming. They don't think it's now. They think it's like 2 or 3 years from now. I'm like, no, it's now. Like, watch. I promise. They're like, oh, it should be good. Like, and bro, like it, like the league. It's not only the league that's like anti-young player or whatever. Like, if it comes down to keeping like a second-year player on your roster or going for like some 36-year-old, they're gonna go with the 36-year-old. Like most times.
Van Sloot.
Yeah, and now the I just don't think they see anything coming with like Cam Brink is basically going to have to come off the oak now for NECA.
His NECA's there, right?
Yeah, I'm like, why would you do this? But I guess you have to because they have Kelsey Plum, who's in her 11th year, and it's like, do you want to have? And they got rid of Rakia Jackson.
Cam Brink's coming Chicago, off the bench, right?
Yeah, it's weird. I'm like, who would build a team like this? It's like they basically like just took Seattle and moved it to LA. Like as far as like the old, guard or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's like Kelsey Plum, Hamby, and what's her name? I just said it. Fucking NECA. So, but I'm like, y'all not gonna fucking win. So it's like, why don't you just play your young players and unless they're trying to scheme it so she doesn't get into the epic provision or something and fuck around and make an all-star team or all NBA team or some shit. But I don't know. Like, she could be traded. Like, if someone was smart, they would try to trade for Cam. They'd be like, yeah, if Angel went for 2 first-round picks, the price for Cam is even less because she actually got hurt and doesn't have the production. Yeah, you can. I feel like somebody can get Cam Brink. Like, a lot of people want the Fever to trade for her, and she would be perfect as a 4. Oh, my God. But, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what you're supposed to do with Cam Brink and Leah Boston at 4 and 5. I don't know what you're supposed to do with that.
Yeah. Chicago remade their whole team as far as
but they still trash.
They're not good.
Because what is Rakia, Skylar Diggins, and who else?
Dejanay, Jay-Z Shelton, Azare Stevens, Sloot.
Sloot old as shit. How old is Sloot?
Sloot old as shit. I think maybe 38 this year.
She old, bro. She's my age.
Yeah. Camilla still there, but maybe tall and that's all. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I think that might be the case for her.
Who else? And Rakia, as you mentioned. So people think Rakia could mess around and be like a most improved player or whatever. She's going. Her offense is awesome.
So my question is,
she don't guard though.
Do people think the Dream can compete for a title? Can be like contenders?
There are people that think that, but I think the Dream is a team full of chokers that need to prove me otherwise after what happened to them in the playoffs last year.
Who did they lose in the playoffs to?
Fever.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And they've got something to figure out as far as the rotation because Bree Jones is hurt to start the year, so Angel's going to be playing 5. And then, like, Ryan Howard is a streaky shooter. Alicia Gray is good during the regular season for sure. She was not good in the playoffs. A lot of foul baiting, a lot of flopping. Like, there was a lot of flopping on the Dream. I don't know. Like, you would think Angel makes them better just because Angel doesn't have to be the best player anymore. And it's ultimately the destiny that I've always called for her to have is to be the 3rd or 4th best player at a given time on a team. But I think if they fuck around and encourage her and be like, yo, we trying to unlock your offense and stuff, they're going to fuck it up.
That ain't going to happen because they got Ron Howard and Alicia Gray. They ain't nothing to bow to her. They're going to watch her game and be like, why would we give you the ball? Go get it off the rim. Go get it off the rim.
It's because like the way the coach is talking, like we're gonna encourage her to do that, and I'm like, all right, way dog, like hey, you fuck around and get fired like this. But
this ain't South Carolina.
They're gonna be an interesting team because it's like, okay, can Angel actually adapt to a winning team? And
is Alicia Gray? Hold on, before you move on to that. Sorry about that. Is Alicia Gray the best like wing player or backcourt player that Don Staley's ever produced?
Yes,
that's what I was thinking too.
Trying to think. Yeah, I mentioned Kennedy Carter back with the Aces, bro. I think Kennedy Carter is going to be unleashed. Like
instant offense.
God, so Saturday's a doubleheader between the Wings and the Fever, and then I think it's Aces Mercury. I think I'm watching both games.
Who's on the Mercury now?
they lost Sabali, so they didn't really replace her. It's just
18. Who else? 18, Bonner, and who else? Oh, Copper. I forgot Copper was there. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. And they got young players like Natasha Mack. They've got a point guard that's young. But yeah, I think the Fever are going to be really great. Like Caitlyn just puts everybody back into their natural roles. It's not all relied on Kelsey. If Aaliyah Boston's 3-ball has come along and she's not like suffering from a lower leg injury, I think Sophie Cunningham could.
Is that actually true though? Is she actually gonna shoot threes here, or is that just like how people talk at the beginning of coming to media days? Be like, yeah, I've been working on X, Y, and Z. Like, all right.
She did it in Unrivaled.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's gonna be the same thing, but I think Sophie could lead the league in 3-point percentage. She's gonna be wide the fuck open. Like,
ain't nobody trying to guard her.
Last year, she shot like. I think during that 5 weeks she played, she was like 43% from 3, and now Caitlyn's gonna be on the floor with her. So like now Lexi Hull's good again, essentially, and Lexi wasn't bad last year. She kind of took a step forward, but with Caitlyn in the game, she becomes dangerous in the corner. They put out some shit today. C-Rat Sohi from The Athletic that was basically co-signing all the shit I've been talking about with the on-ball, off-ball stuff that everybody's been freaking out over. And it's like everybody like, we want Iowa Caitlyn back and and then it's like, bro, y'all didn't realize she played off ball at Iowa like way the fuck more than she did like last year or whatever or some shit like that.
Oh, okay.
It was like a 36% of the time she was on the ball, and then like 14% as opposed to 14, and like it was some. I'll send it to you, but it was basically some shit.
I don't think when I watch Caitlyn play, I don't think she's a person that needs the ball. She just happens to have the ball a lot because like one of the things about her is she'll come off the ball really quickly to advance the ball. People that do that aren't dependent on needing the ball at times. Otherwise, they're not advancing the ball. They don't trust their other teammates.
Yeah, like she said something the other day. She's like, "Why wouldn't I pass the open person the ball?" Like it was like
that's what I mean. Like when you're with somebody like a LeBron James, trying to think of another example, a Luka, a Jason Kidd, Lonzo Ball, like point guards or people that have the ball a lot that will just get the ball out their hands super fast to advance the ball for a fast break. Like those people don't generally think in the terms of I have to have the ball to create everything to make everything work. It's I just happen to have the ball a lot. And that's a byproduct of me having the ball a lot, not me having to dribble the air out of it to make anything work because I'm selfish or I'm not actually like thinking ahead in terms of the game. So I know I don't. When I watch Caitlyn play, I think the same thing. Like she's trying to advance the ball. She doesn't really care about having the ball and dribbling the air out of it. She doesn't give a shit. In fact, she probably doesn't want the ball because it's more effort to have to bring the ball all the time, especially because they try to turn her like 4 or 5 times before she gets to half court.
Yeah, it's insane, really. There was some stat that she got guarded like 928 times, like all the way up the court. And it was more than everybody in the league, and she only played 13 games. Like, and I think the closest person was like 400 or some shit like that.
I don't know why the W doesn't do that more, considering that like even NBA teams the last 2 years have done that more. Like just pick people up 94.
Yeah,
because it's just over a certain amount of time you're going to make them get into the shot clock or get into their offense later than normal on like a certain percentage of possessions. Even that's just worth it. Just to do it, right? And then, like, you might get a turnover. You might get an offensive foul on them trying to, give a screen, before the half court line. They ends up where someone's not moving their feet. Like, it's just worth it to do it, unless you just don't have any backcourt depth. If you don't have backcourt depth, I get it. But if you have a lot of guards in a W, you should just be picking up 94 every other play.
They got that defensive dog Raven Johnson now. She's kind of won a lot of people over in the preseason.
Why do people think they had her and Caitlyn had beef? Just
she had given some interview recently, like about it. Like I think she was on the Pivot or something like that, and like brought it all up over again. And I think a lot of people just
brought
up like everything that she went through in college with like the wave off situation, and they didn't know if it was like a personal thing between them two, but they were fine. So, like, Caitlyn, like, waved her off and basically was like, I ain't got to guard you in, like, 2022. and then that's essentially like patient zero for like what led to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
Oh,
So
okay.
because people were mad that Caitlin waved a defender off or whatever, or waved an offensive player off, like I don't have to guard you.
Oh,
whatever.
like a non-shooter, like some like Kobe's not guarding Rondo.
Right, exactly.
Oh, okay.
So people got mad at that because, of course, they always get mad at Caitlyn. And then that essentially led to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese because she was like, I want to stand up for Raven. And then I was like, okay, we're here now. And then so people naturally wanted to know, hey, man, is there smoke between y'all? And then
the answer was no, similar to like the Haley Van Lift shit.
Right. Like the answer was,
but no one does that because they're white. They're both white, as opposed to white girl, black girl. I got you.
I was like, not only was it no, it was like Raven Johnson came in with like the most bubbly personality, and they instantly love each other, like from everything that I'm hearing. And I'm like, that's cool. That's kind of what I was worried about. I thought it was gonna be a big distraction or whatever, but I'm not worried about that anymore. So
I just saw someone tweet that James Harden is doing shit that Terry Rozier got arrested for. That's funny. That's fucking hilarious.
So when y'all gonna watch the Sports for Dummies channel? I don't know. I don't know if we got time for all that.
What did I say?
I talk about WNBA on my WNBA channel. Like that's kind of a whole different thing. I mean, I always find fun stuff from the media members saying dumb shit, and I be
when they were going to watch a Sports for Dumb. Okay, gotcha. I thought he was like, wait, what? Okay, I didn't realize. I'm editing the show, so I'm not looking at the chat. So sorry about that.
I'm
man.
I've been finding shit and tearing people up, but I guess we should head up out of here.
You know what tomorrow is, right? Speaking of Sports for Dummies, you know what tomorrow is, right? Tomorrow morning.
No.
I guess Skip is going to be on First Take.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, gotta watch. You know, good analysis. You know,
good analysis.
You know,
they have ruined. They have
get this hate off. You know,
yeah. Okay.
You know, Skip gonna give us some new stuff.
Every bad sports and pro wrestling debate shit you've heard in a hot take and Rage Beatty clip. It was inspired and influenced by those two doing their bullshit in the mornings for years. So,
all right, y'all.
I almost said someone should fly, and I'm stop myself.
Get ready to fly.
No. Send 2 planes to the studio. Never mind. Let's get off the air now.
We up out of here. Peace, y'all.